if you want, because as we always say, pre-show is the best show.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
It's also over.
Uninhibited.
Right. Look, we can only keep them waiting for so long. As it is, I make them wait until 9:05. They get testy if we go too long. Plus, we were running up the Sanford and Son marathon ended, so we had to get this thing going. But it's Tuesday night. It's the week before JoeFest, so we're all tired. None of us did any kind of prep, let alone the dude in the bottom of the screen, Carson Metaxas of 3D Joe's, and Operation Recall, and 600 other projects he's got going on. God only I can't keep track anymore. That's why we finally got him back in the house to talk about it.
When I was thinking about packing the car, it's like I have to think about Operation Recall. I have to think about The Art of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, and I've got to think about the show because I helped them do all their AV for the panel room.
You're making my head hurt.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. and we just had Heroes Con here in Charlotte this past weekend, so I've really only got like 2 or 3 days to think about this.
We'll be right back after you watch our kick-ass opening sequence. Oh, wait. The intro.
Ragtime Rob's got something there, and he's got a smile on his face. Oh,
no!
We've lost him.
That's Ragtime Rob has been pinned under the mass of Carson's book for the last 4 days. I am unable to move it. And so, frankly, he's just left to the fates at this point, unless 911 finally takes us off a hold.
No, volume 2 comes with a weightlifting belt. Which is great.
It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
Woo!
I'm breaking in a little bit of Feaster that I got off of Wish. Check this out. Well, okay, the camera's gonna follow me, so that doesn't work.
Feaster Wish.
It's that Snake Eyes shirt or that cover, where he's hanging upside down. He's got all the bullets falling, and it's a great shirt. But they got me on the Facebook advertising. I'm sitting there scrolling my feed, and that's like one of my favorite covers of his. I'm like, son of a bitch. It's like an $18 shirt from China. So.
Right. I mean, being a Wish.com shirt, does it leave red ink on you when you take it off? Or?
I swear to God, this is the first time I've worn it, so I will update you tomorrow. But I will say the graphics are a little soft. It's a little soft. It's a G.I. Joe shirt off of Wish. You know what I mean?
It's a trace, right? It's a trace.
Yeah, it's not brilliant. It doesn't represent Tom's beautiful line work as well as it should.
Right.
Plus it clings to the abs, which is not good, right?
Well, I don't have those, so that's fine.
Well, you got them. We all got them. They're just covered up.
They're already covered up and clung to.
Man. I was noticing in photos from Heroes Con, I'm like, oh my God. Because I've been working on that book for a year and a half, and then I've been working on the Digipack for another 6 months. It's been an intense couple of years. I'm like, I need to get back in the gym. It's not going well.
Can you figure out how to get an editing bay on top of a treadmill? That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sweet. I've seen people that have the little walkers under their desks. That's one thing I haven't tried yet. So I put my Peloton in here right next to my desk just to shame myself into working out. I didn't use it once. Actually, I think I used it like 2 or 3 times, but I've been here like 2 years.
Right.
Right.
Did you hang things on it?
I didn't hang anything from it, but I did finally move it out to the garage. So, yeah.
Here with tonight's fitness tips in the top row. He's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
Yeah, dude. If you want to build good lats and traps, just get yourself a head the size of mine and keep it balanced all day. It's like sitting on a yoga ball for your shoulders. That's my fitness tip. So there you go. Free.
If anybody's looking to bring Mark a gift at JoeFest, that's a size 9.5 cap.
Yeah, big time. Oh, look at this.
Invader.
Everybody take a drink. It's Mark's kids.
We've got a Super Joe shirt back there. Are you a Super Joe fan there, Mark?
You know what? That was a handout at one of the last Joe conventions.
Okay.
That Brian Savage brought those around for Hasbro staff and people who
Really?
were working the show. So, but that was actually my first Joe ever was Super Joe in that giant orange plane that he didn't fit in.
I didn't even know Super Joe came with an orange plane. I'm poorly educated on Super Joe.
Oh, it was the best because he was 8 inches tall and it was a 12-inch scaled vehicle. So he was just like driving way up here.
He came with a couple of phone books.
Was it the first time they had released that plane and they just repurposed it from 12 to 8, or had it been released before?
I think it had been released before. It could turn it could turn into a couple different things. It wasn't a bad thing. He just didn't fit.
They didn't. They could have pulled a Robo Skull and just put a different seat in it. You know,
had they tried,
they didn't want to spend that kind of money. Come on now.
So lazy.
Look at this.
I had a
no.
Oh, hey buddy. Hey buddy.
Get that dog out of here.
Mary Mercenary Cosplay is
like
into fitness. She's into fitness. This strawberry cake in her mouth.
There you go.
That's the kind of fitness we can get behind here on What's on Joe Mind.
Fitness strawberry. What?
we're a burly kind of podcast. That said, in the bottom row, trapped under the rubble of his own making, it's rack time, Rob.
Hi. All this fitness talk. Like I said, I'm working on the weights with Carson.
There you go. Between that and all the new comics from Skybound, you should be busy over there, Rob.
Yeah, there's more I got to pick up tomorrow.
Dude,
plenty to read.
20 presses of Carson's book. We'll get your arms burning a little bit.
I'll be honest, man. I started, pulling everything when IDW was doing Cobra and then Cobra 2. And then, I made it through like 3 or 4 seasons of the IDW stuff. And then I kind of tired of it because they kept rebooting and do different creative teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But man, this new stuff, it seems to be high quality so far.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoying it a bunch so far.
Pretty exciting.
There's so much more of a direction already than the IDW relaunch. That
it's almost like they have a cohesive plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine that.
Or like poor Paul Aller. I think there was a direction there. He just got the chain yanked on him after 10 issues.
Yeah.
Well, and that happened to a few of them on the later seasons, right? They had longer plans, but they ended up with shorter arcs. But
right. But those were like that was the main book, main continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the main IDW continuity. Paul's was a restart.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just get out of here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mark,
good book too. I miss it.
Mark, were you in charge when Cobra was being made? I remember you were a big fan of it because we've talked about this previously. But were you there? Were you active on the team when the IDW Cobra stuff was coming out?
Man, I'm trying to even remember what the Cobra stuff was. Right?
Was Chuckles and Jinx and the twins and
it was the Last Laugh.
They repackaged it as the Last Laugh. It was a 4-issue miniseries called Cobra, and then a 4-issue miniseries called Cobra 2,
right.
And then I think they picked it up at number 9. Like they just acted like those two series continued.
Okay, that was wrapping up while I was there, but I was on Transformers when it was wrapping up. But I beat that drum.
I did too.
Anyone who would listen that would be a perfect Netflix series, right, or Amazon Prime or whatever. Because until you get to the sub base at the end, spoiler, it all takes place in hallways and dining rooms.
Yeah, small scope, small budget.
It wouldn't be big budget. It'd be great. It'd be shot mainly dark, right? Not that many characters.
Yeah.
There's no reason that drum should have stopped being beaten, no matter the fact that nobody was listening.
It's a powerful story.
You could still make it, if you wanted to make the brand big. Just say it.
Yeah.
I mean, anything would be good. I personally would hold out for an animated show, but what can you do? There's nothing. I would take anything.
It's challenging right now though, because any media that puts out gets so much like polarization from the fan community in terms of storytelling, right? So if it's a Star Wars cartoon or Disney or X-Men, X-Men's actually pretty well, everybody loves it because it's amazing. Right. But most stuff is like super divisive these days. Yeah. And G.I. Joe is already a hit with Classified with the toys. So it's almost like, why create a cartoon if half the people are just going to bitch about it? Just keep making the toys awesome.
Look, but that's the thing, man. It's that you need to put this stuff out there because it doesn't matter what you put out. People are going to complain about it. So why listen to any of it? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So just do something. Even if you're a fan of the old continuity, you're always going to be a fan of the old continuity. If you're a fan of Renegades, you're always going to be a fan of Renegades. Look, I mean, G.I. Joe is a property where you can have more than one thing going on. Shoot, it has been that way since for our brand of G.I. Joe since it started, right? We had a comic book and we had a cartoon which had nothing to do with that comic book, and we consumed both of them with aplomb. And maybe you liked one better than the other, but I can't think of anybody that hated them, that hated one or the other. So I think a lot of that is just word service for people taking their favorite too far.
Are they developing any storytelling right now outside of comic books? I know they're doing the side-scrolling, fight 'em up game with Maple out of Canada, and then they've got the big game that they're making out of Raleigh with Hasbro Wizards of the Coast, which is going to be a more, I believe, Call of Duty style game. More serious, more mature. That's the Snake Eyes theme one. And then there's the side scroller again out of Canada with Maple Games, and they've already showed that, Wrath of Cobra. But outside of those two video games, are they developing any other storytelling vehicles?
Well, there's the movie with Transformers, right?
The crossover movie.
Right.
Because you guys remember over the last 3 years, there was talk of an animated series that was in the work that supposedly focused on Snake Eyes. Do you guys remember hearing about that 2 years ago?
Yeah. We saw a couple of
think a lot of that sadly was contingent on the movie doing well.
Okay, they rightly killed that then.
Right. It was a Snake Eyes intensive series, and that bomb that burned in the wake of the movie bombing, and that Lady J project for Amazon didn't go anywhere.
That's the next one I was going to bring up, because that had whatever Andrea Paliki or whatever attached to it.
Right. And but it really didn't get out of development. And so there just hasn't been anything since that we've been made privy to. So anyways, before we get too far into discussing all this stuff, in the bottom row, he's a former host of the program who's since gone on to bigger and better things.
Oh, stop.
Come on now. You've seen our subscriber count. It's the truth.
At the very least, it's definitely bigger.
Yeah. Heavier things.
It's heavier things, more expensive things. That's for sure.
Carson and Taxes 3D Joe's is with us tonight, everybody.
Good to be back. Good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
I always have to correct you on this. You're not back. You're home.
Good to be home. It's good to be home. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You need 4 horsemen.
That's right.
4. Yeah.
Well, I mean, which one would this make, Carson? Because I don't want to take Ole away from Rob.
I'll be Pestilence.
And this is weird because Carson and I were never full-time hosts on the show together.
No, you replaced.
When Carson got hella busy, they brought in a bunch of co-hosts, and I dominated them all.
You were the scab, yeah.
Yeah, I am they were the weakest link, so here I am. So I don't know that the Horseman thing works unless he was Ole and I'm Luger. Ooh. But Ragtime Rob's Ole.
Yeah, because he's old and crotchety. So
right, and I'm Arn because I'm feisty and losing my hair. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway,
and I got a bitchin' spine buster. So
that is true. I've seen that play out in real time.
Yeah, pretty good.
I don't know what real time has to do with it, but we're going with it. It sounded good.
Maybe this weekend if you're lucky, folks.
Right.
Get spine busted.
This will be the first time, even though it's the 3 of us, and this will be the first time that we will have all active hosts of What's on Joe Mind in the same building at the same time. That has never happened before.
Nice.
There was always somebody missing. Usually it was name redacted, but in the old days, Gary and Justin and myself were often in the same big con rooms, and then going forward, me and Joe, or Gary and me and Joe, or Justin and me and Joe, all got to the same place. But somebody was always missing, and then Carson and Joe and I were there was the one JoeFest, and Carson wasn't there, of all people, the celebrity, not in the building.
Was that COVID?
No, it was 5 years ago.
Why wasn't I there?
I don't know.
Is it possible Carson was there?
No, you were there. You were there. I took you to dinner once.
I think the only one I've missed is COVID. For some reason.
Sometimes you can't find Carson because he's winning at the craps table. Right?
No, I'm buried in the panel room.
I know. I remember you running the.
No, we did
night.
hustle that. That was Joe Con, and we hustled the hell out of that casino night. I got that gold cassette out of that VHS.
I believe I dumped some chips your way, as I
Yep.
recall, but that was a while ago.
I got that. We pulled our resources, and I got that gold VHS for G.I. Joe the movie. That was amazing.
Goodness.
Happy days, man. Happy days.
Anyways, as we have now killed an entire quarter of an hour talking about nothing in particular,
Yeah.
let's roll into community calendar. Community calendar brought to you by Roma Collectibles, the toy store, located in Springfield, Ohio on Upper Valley Pike. They're not open this week because they're going to be at JoeFest with us. We demanded it. It's part of our sponsor contract. It's our fault. Pin that on us. They do what we say, damn it. None of that is true. But anyways, remember, try not to, they're very friendly at Roma Collectibles, but try not to make any direct eye contact, as this will provoke them into an attack. Carson signed on as a third partner there.
There you go.
I saw Rob do it first. I thought it was funny, so I jumped in.
Rob,
hey. Rob, I was hoping you were going to come in from the other side.
Yeah. I thought about it, but I'm like, I'm so far away because I have all the info on my side. It's just
yeah, it's true. It's true. Sorry, there goes another 5 minutes.
You're good. You're good. Look, I'm happy that you know to just play along with this stupidity, because just wait, we've got overlays later there'll be even more at work.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, first up, the big show this weekend. If you're in the West, it's the DFW G.I. Joe and action figure show. That is happening this weekend as well. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they are celebrating 60 years of G.I. Joe. And
I dig that they got some Spy Troops representation on there.
Right. For a graphic, they managed to they really tried to get 60 years of G.I. Joe in one panel. I have to respect the effort there. That's good hustle. But they've been doing this show for a long time. These guys are institutions in their own right. They've been running this thing for at least 15 years now.
I'm gonna try to hit it up next year. Obviously, I'm not going this year, but I'm gonna try to go next year.
Right. I mean, we of course we are whores, and we will go to whichever show invites us first.
That's right.
That's the secret to the What's on Joe Mind calendar. Hit us early.
Make sure to stop by the Valaverse booth, say hi to Bobby,
right,
and ask him the important question: where's Mark? Yeah. First crack at the second version of Bone Collector. Is it that? Show? So go get it.
That's his 100th figure, right?
Yep.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy how fast he's grown that line.
And I wrote the file card for him and made him from Tucson, because nothing good comes from Tucson.
What?
That's what I'm talking about.
You did that all the way back on Wave 1?
Way back. Yep.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Named him, put him from Tucson, named the Wave 2 guy Gregory Seams after a buddy and a former teacher combined, and then got Eclipse's name changed to Eclipse. So there you go. I got fingerprints going way back.
Nice.
And just to remember, hashtag at the DFW show, plug the damn show.
Mm-hmm.
Plug the show.
Anyways, you can get more details there if you're still making up your mind at dfwjoeshow.com. Admission's going to get you, but somewhere between $15 and $50, depending on what ticket package you buy. Those are available on the site. It's either the 21st Friday night is just a preview. They're open 6 to 8. 22nd is Saturday. They are 10 to 5, and then on the 23rd, 10 to 3. Early bird package gets you in the door at 9. Guests at the DFW show this year include Kirk Bazigian, Daryl DePriest, Larry Hama, Ron Rudett, many, many more Joe-related guests. They really went out of their way to get a lot of the really old school guys out to Dallas this year. So good on them. It should be a fun show.
Yeah, that's the biggest gathering of the legends since HasCon. And I hate I'm gonna miss it, man. Like a lot of those guys are good friends of mine.
Right,
And,
they're tired of seeing you though. Like,
yeah, I know, right? I'll just come see you some other time.
No, they went to Dallas to get away from you.
Right.
No, literally last weekend I stopped by Ed Morrill's house, and then I went to the casting guy's house, and then I went to Ron Rudat's house. So like I see these guys, you know.
So
But no,
Earl Morrill,
seeing them all
Earl
together.
Morrill, Ron Rudat, and the casting guy. So I bet he feels great right now.
Look at this beautiful. Well, you guys aren't gonna know Scott, probably actually, but Valaverse did work with him. So Mark, you might know Scott Andrews.
Let me see if I can get you in the big window here. No, apparently I can't. Hang on.
So his company's Lightbeam 3D.
Here we go,
and he works a ton. I mean, look at Lightbeam 3D's website. You'll see it. He works a lot for Hasbro, but he also did some Valaverse stuff. He's doing the Operation Recall casting. Sorry, this stupid iMac Apple Studio display will follow faces. So anyway, he's casting the Operation Recall figures from the hand sculpts, and then we're making paint masters from them. So these are just the casts.
That's awesome.
But I'll be bringing some paint masters with me too that are painted by Chris Scott and Matthew LaCroix.
Do those smell like cotton candy? Because it looks like they would.
Wait, why did I go in for the crotch?
That's not
hanging out with dogs too much.
Let's go in on the neck next time.
That's all you, dude.
They're really odor free.
We're not here to tell you how to live, Carson. That's not the kind of show that we run here.
Yeah, they're pretty odorless.
They're odor
Clearly,
free.
they've been using that new all-over body deodorant stuff.
Yeah, they're odor free before the convention.
Right.
But they have funk when they get back. Yeah.
Everyone's welcome
at color anymore either.
Everyone's welcome at What's on Joe Mind, Carson. So don't be ashamed.
So anyway, Scott Andrews, he's awesome. Back to DFW.
This concludes the crotch sniffing portion of the program.
Oh, yeah, Adam Skelmosky on board. I hope no one turned in as Carson was sniffing those. Yeah, whatever. Absorb Vids is somewhere. He's never far away.
I hope they're. Hey man, shout out to the guys that are going to be there at DFW. I hope you guys are recording or streaming these panels, man, because getting these guys together is truly, it doesn't happen often at all. The last time was 7 years ago. And I remember Full Force got in there at Hasbro and streamed those panels. And those have been a good resource going forward, right? So I hope somebody there at DFW will stream the hell out of these panels. Thank you.
Makes sense.
Do it for posterity.
Where's Phil? Is Phil accounted for?
I haven't seen Phil scroll by.
Phil's been the bootleg streamer of note in recent times, so maybe him.
Yeah, he streamed SDCC, didn't he?
Yes.
That's correct. Larry will not be at JoeFest this year.
Yes.
It's a troublesome commute.
I just talked to Larry at HeroesCon too, and he just reaffirmed that it was simply that DFW asked him first, man. There's no weirdness going on. There's no beef. It's just DFW asked him first.
Right.
So. Larry will be at JoeFest in 2025. He's already confirmed that as well. So will Ron Rudat, Mark Pennington, Doug Hart. We're gonna build it back up next year.
What? I mean, that probably bumps us from the ticket. So I don't know if I'm in favor of all this.
That takes your room.
Right?
Yep. There it goes.
Fudge.
So much for our panel.
Where's JoeFest going to be next year?
As far as I know, it's still Augusta.
Okay. It's a long drive. That's all. It's a lovely town, but a long drive. Anyways, not for Carson. Carson's in the south already, so he's
it's about 4 or 5 hours for me.
And that's by propeller boat, so we don't even have to worry about it.
Fan boat, awesome.
That sounds amazing.
That'd be cool. Think about that. If the fan boat's powerful enough, you just go south. Doesn't matter what's in front of you.
Right. Just follow the coastline.
That's it.
The whole while the Miami Vice theme is playing, it's fantastic. Just automatically turns on as soon as you start that motor up.
Coming up on July 14, we said this because we promised Pixel Dan that we would. But Sergeant Red's Toys and Collectibles having the best Dan toy spectacular. That's a noble attempt at a pun, and so that's another reason why it stayed on community calendar. But they are up in Utica, Michigan. That event is happening from 12 to 3. For more information, you want to visit Sarge and Reds on Facebook. They've got all the information there. I think they're just selling books and signing autographs, and I don't know, they'll make up a book that Larson wrote. He hasn't written any books yet, but Pixel Dan's written 2 books, so maybe he can just pretend that Dan Larson wrote a book. I don't know.
If you average the 2, they've both written a book.
Right. It's 1.0 books per guest.
It's going to be a hell of a show, Dan.
It's a solid number.
Yeah.
Come for the toy show, stay for the steamed hams.
Ooh. It's not Utica without you.
Nice.
Marketing.
Oh, goodness. Moving forward, of course, same day, July 14. If you're in the St. Louis part of the neighborhood, be sure to hit up Toyman. Remember, they do this 8 times a year, so you're never too far away from a Toyman show. That is happening from 9 to 2. $5 gets you in the door. $15, they let you in an hour early at 8. Parking is, of course, bountiful and free. Find and hug Dave Draper for a 0% What's on Joe Mind discount. Just give him a heads up first, because Dave's getting on in years. We don't want to surprise him.
Yeah, don't pick him up.
Dave's getting... Oh, God.
Right? I at some point, he's got to watch the show, and he'll actually say something when I make fun of him. But we'll see. We'll see. Dave is my buddy. I miss seeing him at Toyman. I knew he's up in Springfield. He comes down from Springfield, Illinois to Toyman. That's a 2-hour drive for Toyman. Absolutely worth it. Two-story building full of toys going all the way back to the 30s, all the way through today. If you're anywhere close to St. Louis, you need to be at a Toyman show. I guess, yeah, 14th was last weekend. Never mind. This is what happens when we don't update our slides. I was so busy doing new slides, I didn't bother to look at the old slides. It's like, oh, hey.
Well, that's July 14th, so.
Well, it's July 14th. Yeah. Shut up, White Vegeta.
Don't apologize. Ban him. Ban him.
No. We like White Vegeta. He's here every week.
That's fake news.
Yeah, Rec Ship's great. Maybe correct me, man. I was on board with him. I'm tired.
It's Bastille Day.
I tell you what, I am normally I work at nights most of the time, but this week I am off for JoeFest. And so I've been awake today since about 8 o'clock this morning. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to putting in a full day before the show. So things may get a little crazy. We may hit a few more buttons completely in unintended circumstances.
Meow. 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 Meow.
July 20th, be sure to slide on into the Kentuckiana G.I. Joe Toy Expo. That is happening in, it's more in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, at the Paraquet Springs Conference Center, which is actually a neat little complex. Haven't been there back in January. It was a good show in January. I'm hoping for more this July. That is happening from 10 to 4. As you can see there, parking is free. $8 gets you in the door. $15 gets you in for early bird. There is a Friday night Colonel's preview. That is $30. That is 5 to 8 on Friday, plus an early bird admission on Saturday if you get the $30 package. Kids 12 and under are free. You need more information, hit up the KYGI Joe on Facebook or visit kygijoe.com and be sure to clear that browser history.
I'll say this, sir. Do I need to wear my white jacket when I come to the Colonel preview on Friday night?
You
Absolutely.
do, sir.
Stock up on the mint julep.
I do say that I recollect that needing to bring cash because most tables do not accept the credit card.
Well, I mean, and cash is what helps you get the top shelf whiskey for the mint juleps too. So Recship says, hit up the Long John Silver's right up the road for lunch afterwards. There's no shortage of restaurants by the Kentuckiana G.I. Joe Toy Expo, so you have your choice.
I was just looking at the drive there from here because I talked to Steve Stovall about it. It looks like it's 9 hours. I just don't know if I can drive for longer than I'll actually be at the show. You know what I mean?
All I'm saying is Brian Lower, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, he made a 12-hour trip from Tulsa in January for this one. So, I mean, he's calling out your man card, Carson. That's what it is.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way, Carson. It's an 18-hour round trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Truth.
So if you get there, you can get 6 hours of sleep and come home same day.
For 6 hours on the floor.
Yeah, you just got to sleep at the destination.
I want to go. Ugh. Anyway, next item.
It's close to Louisville, so you know.
Right. If you wanted to fly into Louisville, it's pretty well right south of there.
Dustin Jeffries ripping on my accents because it is accent theater here on What's on Joe Man.
He's not ripping on your accent. He's saying it's better than your Bend accent.
Little does he know that my Kentucky accent is also a Bend, Oregon accent, sir.
Is that Southern Bend?
Something like that. South Bend. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Firefly called me a Jive Soul Bro.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong.
There was nothing, well, he's not, but there was nothing jive about my Colonel Sanders.
No, not at all. No, I thought that was as white as it came, frankly.
I mean, yeah, I don't get very jive. I'm somewhere between 0% jive and Barbara Billingsley. I'm right in there somewhere.
But no, Barbara Billingsley speaks jive.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyways, moving forward.
Some don't want the help, some don't get the help.
Diana Davis, perhaps you need to reduce some friction, Carson, for a smoother trip. That shouldn't be a problem when you're leaving, KY Joe.
I'm just saying, if it takes you 9 hours to get there, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Or your skin.
Maybe you're doing it really right.
I suppose.
Anyways, moving on. Hey, by the way, this coming weekend, it's JoeFest. I don't know if you've heard anybody talking about it. But we have, of course, the exhaustive list of guests. That's me and that's Mark. That's Racktime Rob, Sergeant Slaughter, Michael Charles Hill, Pixel Dan Early, and nobody else.
I love that Sarge gets fourth billing behind us. That's
right.
Yeah. I just hope Sarge doesn't want to have
Mark and Rob.
When Sergeant Slaughter does his own podcast, he can get top billing there.
Right.
We don't get invited to too many places. I have to trumpet us.
They just announced Robot Chicken is going to be there.
Yeah,
Seth Green himself
and his wife will be in attendance for
That's
their
cool.
showing off their project, their stop motion thing.
They're going to do a screening of it, I believe.
I cannot necessarily get to Tuesday news drops. As it is, I got one of them, and I feel pretty good about that.
Nice. I thought you had this week off, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm trying to physically prep for this show, so this computer stuff.
And when they do a news drop at 5:00,
right?
They did a live stream today, and I didn't even know that it was going to happen.
We didn't either. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was a live stream. I believe they just dropped the video.
Right. Oh, okay. They just published.
Yeah,
whatever.
They just popped it up at about noon.
Yeah.
For the 1:00 pre-sale, but we'll get to that in a second. Tickets and information available at JoeFestUSA.com. Be sure to visit our good friend Patch Czar. He will be in the back corner. He's got these Staff Sergeant C-Nugs What's on Joe Mind flag patches. They're only available at JoeFest. They probably will not be of any available afterwards. They are limited to 25. That is $15 at booth 160 in the back left. All proceeds from the patches benefit Canines for Warriors.
Nice.
He's a little sweet boy. Look at him. Look at him with his little What's on Joe Mind flag. That's a good mascot. That's a better mascot than Mark's ever was.
That's true.
But right back, that's back there is where you got booth 160. Carson, where are you on this map?
I'm right next to Joe Declassified. These numbers aren't legible, but if you look in the top right, see how there's 4 that are magenta side by side. See this, and there's 2 magenta like above them. Don't go up there. Stay down where the 4 lower magenta are. That's where Operation Recall. So I'm going to have 2 booths, right? One with Operation Recall because we got Mark Pennington and Doug Hart coming. For those that don't know, Mark Pennington's a figure designer. Doug Hart's a package painter. Both of them worked at Hasbro. Mark Pennington did the late 80s figure designs. He took up after Ron Rudat, so he designed from 86 to 89 roughly. And Doug Hart was a package painter at Hasbro from 84 to 99, and he worked on a ton of lines, but he was primarily responsible for G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. From, I'd say, 90 to 94, he did at least half of the paintings. He's working with me now on Operation Recall. He's working with RoboSkull, and he's working with Call Sign Longbow on all of our packaging art. So when you see that retro O-ring resurgence with beautiful retro artwork, that's Mr. Doug Hart. And I know Longbow is going to have, I think, $10 prints of his new paintings for their line. So those, I'm excited about those. I'm going to pick those up for myself. We're not making any Operation Recall deliverables with Doug's art on it this year because he's only through 10 of the 19 paintings. And so I think next year will be like the last card set we make for this first wave of 19 figures. So what we're doing this year for Operation Recall is a set of glossy full color trading cards that's presentation artwork on one side and figure sculpture sheets where you see the figure from each side, like the sculptors use it. And that's full color as well. So we'll have a 20 card trading card set for Operation Recall. So anyway, we'll have the Operation Recall booth with Mark Pennington and Doug Hart. And then I'll have the Art of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. I'm bringing 6 pallets, y'all. 6 pallets. Okay. That's only, there's only 28.
Each pallet is 10,000 pounds.
It's like 600. They are 600 pounds.
Right. And it's only 2 books.
Right.
The book is ridiculously big. For those that don't know, it's 21 pounds per book. I can only fit 28 book sets per pallet. You believe that? So I'm really only bringing, seriously, guys, I'm only bringing 150 books. And that's not a lot when, Ed says we got like 6,000 people coming through the front door. So if you are wanting to get the book, I'd just say come get it sooner than later, and you'll save $25 on shipping, roughly ballpark. It's really like $18 to the East Coast, and it's like $36 to the West Coast if you want to buy that book.
Either way, your mailman will thank you.
Yeah, your mailman will. You'll save your mailman's back and pick it up yourself at JoeFest. Just make sure you lift with the legs and do some stretches before you pick it up. And I recommend just coming by, picking it up, and taking it straight to the room because you don't want to carry that thing around with you all day.
Right.
Yeah, double bag that backpack.
Yeah. And then I'll be right next to Joe Declassified. For folks that don't know what Joe Declassified is, they show off all the pre-production stuff. So, how the figures were made, how the vehicles were made. They've usually got art, pre-production sketches. They've usually got original sculpts, 2-ups, paint masters, all that cool stuff. So come by Joe Declassified as well.
Diana Davis with a note for you, Carson. You should just build the booth out of books, then sell them. Then you won't have to pack up your booth.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Instead of using a table up front, I'll just put 3 pallets out front. Yep.
So are Mark Pennington and Doug Hart going to fight for the Operation Recall heavyweight title?
Ooh.
Pennington works out, man. He really does. He hits it hard. But I do know that Doug still plays tennis, and both of them are in good shape. Actually, that would be a good match.
There we go. Do
we have a facility to facilitate this?
Look, just you're going to have a bunch of empty pallets, so just throw a canvas over the top, and you're good.
looks like we have the theme. Looks like we have a new theme for our panel this year.
And Sarge can ref it. It's gonna be a good show.
Nice. I thought Sarge was going to tag with you for the tag belt.
I don't know, man. Last time I saw him, he put his thumb up my nose, so I'm not sure we're on the same page. That might have been the turn.
He's over it, man. He's you guys are cool. You didn't sue him or anything, so you guys are on the same team.
Recently, I guess. I think he's a Hasbro sympathizer. That's what I think.
Bart asks if you autograph packing slips. Clearly, he does
all the time. Somebody ordered from Bend, Oregon this week. No lie, and I just wrote "Lava Bears" all over it. It's great.
Lava Bear.
Yep.
Mark, are you guys really doing all fulfillment?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
It was a good week though, because we were doing pre-orders for Series 5, and I don't have to pack any of that. Not right now. That just goes in a big old pile.
Right.
Tear it off the pad, toss it in the pile.
Off it goes. The
organization is for suckers.
The one I'm looking forward
later.
to, when the Vanguards come in, which is late July, they come in their own shipper box, right? So all you got to do is just label that.
Slap a label on it.
Whap, go. Whap, go.
Yep.
So good.
Fly, young one.
They practically drive themselves. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Also happening.
Whoa.
It's the Techno Viper 3D Staff Sergeant C-Nugs in action figure. That is also available at JoeFest. They are limited to 50. They're going to be $10 a piece. They'll be with us at booth 36. That is the Cobra Convergence 8 / What's on Joe Mind booth. We will have a banner, so at least you'll. I've put our camera jockey Jamie in charge of figuring out how to hang that banner, and he says right now he's got 4 different possible configurations, and that worries me. That's too many configurations for a 4-foot banner. But we'll see. It could be a real spectacle. But anyways, it's booth 36. There will be a variant. I'm not sure how many variants will be there. I'll have more details for you tomorrow. Keep an eye on our social media.
It's going to have a green rifle.
No. No, I believe the it's a hot mustard variant with tiger stripes.
Ooh,
is the variant. So, but that's booth 36 is close to the front. So, Firefly asking, wait, Cobra Convergence 8, what's happening? I mean, Cobra Convergence 8 is kind of happening. There will be probably some markers on the booth for Cobra Convergence 8, but we're sharing the space because Brian will be in attendance, but he doesn't want to spend it in the booth all the time and for something he's not actively doing himself. So we're kind of cubbying up with him, and that's going to be our base of operations for Staff Sergeant C-Nug sales. So stop on in, say hi to Rack Time Rob, and there you go. Booth 36, it's right there. We are next to Robert Atkins and Brian Shearer. And then on the other side of them is Roma Collectibles. Remember, no direct eye contact.
Oh,
bad idea.
Wear your They Live glasses. You'll be okay.
Yeah. Always a good plan, frankly.
True.
So,
I'm bringing Eclipse glasses just to make sure that
I'm bringing my Cyclops cosplay glasses, so people tell me I suck.
Oh yeah, I just thought you were looking to get the ladies, right?
I don't know if I want to pick.
I'll just bring whatever I've got handy, baby. Woo.
I don't know if I want to be picking up ladies at JoeFest. I don't know if that's necessarily.
I suppose that's true.
That's not probably not the best option.
I suppose that's true.
But
hard to see with those on.
Shared interest, Mike. Shared interest.
What's that?
I said shared interest. This could be a good thing for you.
What's that now?
Picking up your next woman at JoeFest.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I saw a Cyclops Storm meme this week where Storm says, "Go to Taco Bell. You want anything, Scott?" And he goes, "I want Gene back." And Storm says, "Yeah, I got like $7."
How about a Mexican pizza?
Right.
Right. I don't know if $7 covers a Mexican pizza anymore.
Who wants a crunch wrap?
Not these days.
Whew.
They brought those suckers back, and they apparently made them out of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you see lots of other folks. We gave all the spotlight to the celebrities last time. We're going to go with the toy makers this time. We're going to go with Total Toy Books, Brian and Patty. Skeletron's got Bob Brecken in the booth. Animal Warriors of the I can't
Kingdom.
think of the kingdom. I was going to say the kitchen, and I caught myself from doing that. And
that's a variant,
right?
Yeah, that's
just
whole
just
new
like
line.
Really chunky guys, Animal Warriors of the kitchen.
That's where all the chicken warriors come from.
Yeah.
Chicken Fried Toys, Fresh Monkey Fiction, Grindstone Toys, Marauder Gun Runners, Raging Spoon, Roma Collectibles, Skeletron, Toy Department, Whiskey Jack Toys, and that's it. That's all. That's the only people that are going to be there.
Did you say Fresh Monkey Friction?
Maybe.
That's horrifying.
Maybe.
That's at the
Better than
KYGI Joe show.
Look,
Bill
better
forgives
fresh
me.
than stale.
We're plugging it, and
That's
that's it. Those are the only people that are going to be at JoeFest. Oh, and this handsome bastard.
No, what's up, guys? Man, he looks young. That guy looks young.
Yeah, I don't. I comb people's Facebooks for random photos. I don't know how old that one is.
That's that's when Action Figure Adventure came to visit. That's from that shoot. That was good times.
It looks like your LinkedIn photo, like everyone's LinkedIn photo. It's like 20 years old or younger.
You know, I actually put up as my LinkedIn photo where I was doing the Operation Recall panel at JoeFest like 2 years ago. I love it, man. I'm like, whatever, dude. It's like one of my highlights of my life, showing off that toy line to all those people that wanted to see it. It was a good moment.
Big time.
You know.
Diana Davis notes that there's no fresh monkey friction in Kentucky.
It's true.
Because that's the home of KYGI Joe.
You know, she really delivered. She delivered on that joke. It was like back here, but I couldn't quite put it together. And then there she goes. She delivers.
But as you've already said, Carson, you'll be there with not only 3D Joe's stuff, but Operation Recall stuff.
I will be there.
And a battle for the Operation Recall Heavyweight Championship.
I guess I should say here that please come to our panels at 1 p.m. on Saturday. We're going to have the art of Doug Hart, and we're going to talk about the stuff that he worked on with G.I. Joe, obviously, but we're also going to talk about what he's been working on for the last 3 years with Operation Recall, Longbow, and RoboSkull. So he's having a resurgence in it, and it's amazing. It's awesome. He's still doing his best work. His paintings are, incredible. So come and show Doug some love at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And then at 2 o'clock on Saturday, I think Joe Goldston and I are just going to spoil the whole Operation Recall thing, man. We're just going to tell you what we're thinking. So Joe's already written 7 issues, and I'm not saying we're going to make all 7 issues, but part of the process of building an IP and creating a story is getting something on paper and refining it, and that's what we've been doing the last couple of years. And I think we've got a really compelling story. I was actually pitching it at Heroes Con this weekend to a publisher, and he loved it. He read it on the plane ride home to LA. And we're going to have a call this week. So that doesn't mean anything's happening, but it just lets you know that the story is rolling and it's being pitched. And we're hopeful and optimistic that we'll be able to tell the story of Operation Recall. Because I'm a big proponent of, like, I don't want to just make toys, man. I want to make a universe, And so we've got some good ideas with it. And anyway, come to the panel at 2 o'clock and we'll spoil all that for you. But the point of that is because this whole line, the entire process of developing this line, we've solicited feedback from the community. We solicited ideas up front for characters, right? Before we ever started the line. And so I want to be, the community always makes things better. You don't listen to every idea, but if you hear the same idea multiple times in different ways, slightly different, you start to think, maybe I should try to incorporate something like that. So please come to the panel, hear what we're thinking, tell us if it sucks.
I know I can speak for the truth of that. I know my idea was not in any way accepted by Operation Recall. It was tossed right out.
We filmed those 2 days when it was Mark and Ron and Kirk and myself in a hotel boardroom. We went through all the concepts and we narrowed down the top 16 and we filmed that. And that's one of the things. Once I'm done with the digipack for the art book, I'm going to start working on the Blu-ray for Operation Recall. And I'm excited to dig in on that because it really, part of Operation Recall wasn't just making the toys. It was documenting their process for how they did it. So right. I've got footage of Ron Rudat in his studio designing Rotello. I've got footage of Bill Merkline in his studio sculpting Rotello. I've got footage in Mark Pennington's studio as he's creating the final presentation art and the sculpt sheet for General Mortafaro. Right. So it's going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to working on that stuff. It's just been getting my butt kicked by the book, man, and by the digipack. So I'm almost there.
Are you also trapped under a copy of the book?
It's all Blu-ray is punishing me at this point,
okay.
Man.
All right.
Blu-ray authoring is an abomination. Don't get me started.
Goodness. I got nothing. I knew that once the word came, because I remember way back at the beginning when we first talked about this on our show, as a matter of fact.
Yes, sir.
You were trying to get this as an official G.I. Joe project.
I pitched it multiple times, yes.
Right. And then once word broke that was not going to happen, I figured that my idea was going right out because the character that I had designed had very strong ties to the lore.
Well, we did consciously say, okay, we're not going to take ideas that are so embedded with that lore, because
Right.
if it's not accepted as an official thing, then we want to be able to build our own universe. And so that was a consideration,
Right.
in that room for those 2 days when we were going through stuff. Man, I'll just go ahead and spoil it because whatever. It's fun to add something to the live stream.
Absolutely.
Mark and Ron have agreed to go ahead and start on year 2.
Nice.
So while we're working on the engineering and manufacturing and all that stuff, they can still be working on ideas for going forward. I don't want anybody to have a lull. I feel like incredibly grateful and lucky that we've got all these guys plugged back in, and so I don't want to lose that momentum.
Right.
Feels like you haven't had a lull in your life in about 7 years.
I appreciate it, Mark.
Right.
Thank you for saying that.
If Carson stops with his whip crack in hand,
Yeah,
like it's gonna kink up on him if it has to just go cold again like that. So yeah, I get it.
I had Ron Rudat sign my leatherneck mint on card leatherneck, and he said to Carson, a real hard ball driver. And I was like, is that good or bad? And he's like, no, it means you get things done. I'm like, oh, okay.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot,
Yeah.
but I do have that journalism degree, and I don't pull any punches. So if you say there's a season 2 coming, does that mean that Mike's Beach Fred idea has a possibility?
They already selected the
Beach
figures
Fred.
beyond the 16. Now I haven't spoiled who they selected. All I've spoiled tonight is that they've agreed they both want to keep going.
There you go. That's what we call a What's on Joe Mind exclusive.
Maybe 2:00 on Saturday we'll break the news of who the next selections are.
Nice. We're gonna be chanting Beach Fred, Beach Fred, Beach Fred.
What are y'all's opinions on? Let me get y'all's opinion on this. There's a lot of people that wanted to submit for year 1 and just like found out about it after the fact or whatever. And I've been asked many, many times, are you going to open it up again for year 2? It creates a tremendous like logistical and financial hurdle to overcome if I try to handle it like I did last time, where I get everybody together and film it and we go through and
Right.
that's like days and days of effort and some financial outlay. But the guys already picked the next 16 that they wanted to work on. So should I just say, okay, let them do the next 16 that they already picked, or should I open it back up to the community?
I would say in the interests of momentum, maybe you just keep going with what you have. And then if you roll on to a wave 3, then maybe it's new.
Yep. Because I do like that idea of opening it to the community, but it is a logistical and financial, hurdle.
Right. We'll call this what you've done to this point year 1. It's more than a year, obviously, but
Sure.
It's been a learning process for you. So it just seems like you're putting yourself behind an unnecessary obstacle by just throwing an extra step in there for yourself. So I would say if the fellas have picked out wave 2, stick with it, and then maybe reopen for wave 3 when the process is a little bit more familiar and you've got some more momentum going.
And hopefully by then we know wave 1 is profitable.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's no telling, man. There's no telling. I didn't get profitable on that book until January. So.
Do we know for sure that these guys know what they're doing when they're trying to create new G.I. Joe figures and characters?
It's a relevant question, Mark. I'm going to let you come by the booth and decide.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to come ask them. We'll see.
The proof is in the pudding, my friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, God help me.
The toys look awesome. The Paint Masters look incredible. I'm super excited with where we're going with it. But
Mark, if they go all handicap match on you, you're on your own.
Right?
I won't be fighting the legends.
We just found our third contender. He's got to join the wrestling match now.
I don't know. Truly, I don't know many of them well at all. I know Kirk a little bit, and I know Ron because we were on the same flights down and back from JoeFest a little while ago, and I didn't harass him with 8 billion questions like most Big Joe fans probably would if that was their lone opportunity, and he couldn't go anywhere for a couple hours. So, but given the numbers, I think he would be like, no, guys, leave him alone. Oh, whatever. And it'd be over just like that.
And be sure to hang around the old panel room at 4 o'clock. We'll be taking the stage. What we'll be doing, I couldn't tell you. We'll find out. We'll hopefully have something for you in the next day or two. I mean, we were scheduled again. I don't know how many folks know this. We were scheduled to host Morgan Lofting's panel. Of course, she had some kind of health emergency come up, so she had to cancel. We still have the panel time.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple things in the hopper, and hopefully something will be confirmed in the next day or two before we're actually on the ground in Augusta. But we're working on it.
Yeah. One of the things, here's a hint. One of the things rhymes with hurlesque. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Try that. Accent on the hurl.
Right. Right. I don't know, man. I mean, Racktime Rob won awards doing that, but he's got rods in his back now.
Crazy limber. Just saying.
I mean, maybe back in the day. Anyhow. Moving forward. That's it for community calendar. Hey, we're less than an hour in. That means we're way ahead of schedule.
Rolling.
That's,
Phil Donnelly sighting, by the way.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Bill. Oh, Biff McConaughey.
Community calendar. What the heck happened there? Cut off.
I don't know. I like the beat. I like the beat.
Right. Well, that's absorbed.
You should hear the horns.
Aw, Alistair, thank you for that. So did you guys? Oh wait, I don't want to spoil your Super 7 news, but you saw some Super 7 stuff today, right?
Yes. That was the news item that showed up at like 7 o'clock that I decided to get in here because I'm good people.
There you go.
I can't even find the comment you're responding to, Carson, because apparently you forgot my one rule.
Uh-oh.
It looks like Phil has
Wait, what does plug the damn show have to do with me reading comments?
That's more of a guideline. That's a motto.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Phil Donnelly, the JoeFest panel is an evening with What's on Joe Mind, smoking jackets and smooth jazz. No, it will be with matching T-shirts, though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was really hoping to just be standing there swishing a
Cavatier.
A brandy or
right. It's already been purchased. That part is that's fine.
By smooth jazz, we mean the horns, the 20-second music clip on loop. So
yes. Anywho, it's time for the news.
About time.
First news item.
Do.
Carson, do you miss doing the doots?
Oh! You know what? I overstepped.
No, that's you, Mark. That's you.
No, it's
your gig
Joe,
now, Mark.
Joe, really, but we haven't seen her in a while.
Well, I only step in on Joe when she's got a little lag. Sometimes she's sleeping on it, and I got to step in.
Well, usually she's just got herself on mute.
That's true.
Yeah, she's
trying to avoid the curse jar.
Right. She's aware of it, and she's doing the doots, but nobody on earth can hear it because she's on mute.
Has Joe Colton ever tried to avoid the curse jar? Come on.
No.
Only by muting herself.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Anyways, first up, it's happening now. But there's a big old sale going on our swag shop on TeePublic. Head on over there. Pick up your Greetings from JoeFest merchandise and, frankly, any of our What's on Joe Mind designs. On sale now. Big, deep pocket savings. 35% off on tees. 25 on most other things. Mugs, stickers, wall art. God forbid wall art. If you want my crummy designs in a frame, it's there for you.
Wow.
And it's as cheap now as you're ever going to pay for it. So
buy it now because your ass is going to be broke next week.
It's true.
Right?
It's true. You ain't going to have no money next week.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Look, man, we've got
You've already been through veterans been through Yojo June.
I just got hit hard today. Could you believe the price on that Stinger, man?
Pretty impressive.
But
that's a lot more than the Vamp, isn't it? How much was it?
No, it's the same as the Vamp, and
Is it the same?
And it comes with doors and a roof. And
I don't know why it felt more painful today. I guess I'm just feeling more money conscious right now than I was when I ordered the vamp. But I definitely like when I ordered that, I was like, ouch.
Right. But anyways, you see, it's even got a little Staff Sergeant C. Doug stamp on the postcard. So go get yourself a What's on Joe Mind JoeFest T-shirt. It's not the special one that we're gonna wear, but it's the next best thing. Carson, what size T-shirt are you?
Ooh.
Well, on a good day, large. On a bad day, extra large. I'd say let's shoot for extra large.
Let me give you my wisdom here.
Yeah, playing for the future.
A shirt that's too big is comfy around the house. A shirt that's too small is friggin' worthless.
It's dead. Yeah, it's a dish rag. Yeah.
So what I'll tell you here, Carson, is that I had a bunch of them made for family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of shorted me on the smaller sizes. So
good.
you're saying large or extra large. You may be getting a 2XL.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to work hard to shrink that one.
That may be the smallest one I have left. I have
now,
to double
actually, for shirts on Wish, you do go for double XL, and it fits like a large.
Right. For shirts on Wish, I go for like a 9XL.
There we go.
Right, and that's when I'm.
They are all cotton. They will shrink.
I don't know what this thing is. This thing is like a tablecloth.
That 50% rayon, 45% polyester, 5% plutonium.
100% feaster, baby.
There you go.
There we go.
100% feaster traced.
Crotch.
Are you smelling crotch again? Come on.
It's the theme.
Man, where's that dog when you need it?
When I have to wipe my nose.
There you go.
Oh, God. We've already lost control. Next news item.
I feel like we're drinking, but we're not, to my knowledge.
Right?
It doesn't take much.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, here's those pre-orders you were talking about. They happen today. They are open now. They are what the folks at Hasbro Pulse call online retailer exclusives or specialty retailer exclusives. Sergeant Slaughter, we've got the Mad Marauders 2-pack, and we've got the Cobra Stinger, all available. I don't know what availability is in various places. Figure that out for yourself. I got them at Hasbro Pulse when they opened. I know they're also up on Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store and so on and so forth.
The Low Light and Spirit is only the Pulse.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a Pulse exclusive.
Okay.
Spirit looks awesome in that photo, doesn't he?
Yeah, half of it's awesome.
I would even go so far as to say, as a crummy repaint goes, Low Light's all right.
Yeah, I can't buy Low Light in anything bright, right? Like
the bright blue,
clear blue.
Yeah, the bright blue hat is something of a throw, but whatever. I've seen worse.
I was partial to Slaughter's Marauders growing up. Oof. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the vehicles. You know,
I'll give you the vehicle. Absolutely, I'll give you the vehicle. Yep,
vehicles were great.
Yep,
especially the Equalizer. That thing's strong.
Bit of a beast. Yeah.
I think I have
that radar thing that folded up and had 3 parts on it or whatever. They did some good tooling on that. Minimal tooling to make a big new vehicle.
When that 2-pack arrives at Chateau de Weber, I'm going to get out the paper cutter and chop it right in half and ship Low Light up to Mango Habanero so her mom can enjoy a neon Low Light, because I do not need that. But the Spirit is badass. So
I sent T-shirts off to Joe Colton yesterday, but I put them in care of the Wristlock West Whitlock, so just to annoy her. I put them in care of West.
Wait, what size did Mango get?
I did not get a T-shirt for Mango Habanero because even small is way too big.
That's true.
We already got her all kinds of onesies and stuff. She probably outgrown them already.
I'm hoping to get the Stinger variant out of this, the one that has the fire effects, correct?
Joe Colton is 7'4". How big is that baby at this point?
That's a good point.
Right? She's like probably 4 feet. She's a year old.
That's a good point.
Anyways,
I can't wait to see her first cosplay.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. little shipwreck and poly action.
Something like that. Yeah.
I saw a guy years ago who did himself as the power loader and had his kid as Ripley in a front carrier.
Nice. He was the loader itself.
It was phenomenal. It was such a good cosplay.
That's great.
Rickship85 says that he thinks Mango Habanero was a C-Nugs variant.
I wonder at what age is Wes, who's a known C-Nug enthusiast, going to get some of those real good McDonald's chicken nuggets to his daughter? Because mom is not on board with that plan, I'm pretty sure.
No, she hates all mentions of chicken nuggets or C-Nugs, or she was not on board with Staff Sergeant C-Nugs. And that's our runaway successful mascot, man. I don't know what to tell you there. You go with what the people want. So, Racktime Rob, what'd you pick up today?
I picked up a stinger, or ordered a stinger.
How about you, Carson?
I'm still helpless. I'm getting 2 of everything.
Why?
Can you tell how happy I sound about it?
Right.
Why? The house is already.
I'll tell you why.
Why
when you look around this, will the camera follow me? No,
it will.
Kind of.
It's not really wanting to. Anyway, around this office, like going all the way, go back that way, all the way up those shelves, and then all the way over it, and then all the way down is classified. And I told myself I was one day going to build out 3D Joe's 6-inch, which would be the classified site. And so this is for archiving. It's number 1 to support the brand, but number 2, so I could build the archive, right? But I haven't had any time to do any of that. So I'm like, here we are, year 4. Is this year 5? Did this start in 2019 or was it 2020? 2020, right?
2020, I think, is when we 2020.
So here we are 4 years in and a lot of money in. And I haven't documented a thing. So maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. But anyway, so I get 2 so that one I could open, because I was going to do a live stream video for each one that I open and just like kind of do a quick review of articulation and posability, whatever, subjective unboxing video. But then I would do my normal 3D Joe's documentation. And so I would keep one that I would keep sealed, and then I would have one that I would open and document. None of that's happened. So anyway,
it's because your interns are lazy. Come on now.
Right.
and they're only like 120 figures in now, so
I know it's becoming a more and more daunting task.
Clearly, you're a bum.
Get to work, Carson. Get to work. That's what I tell myself when I'm laying down to sleep at night. Get to work.
Right.
Mark Weber, what'd you pick up today?
I got the Stinger and I got the 2-pack. I did not get the Sarge, and like I said, that low light is going to make its way south.
Is it the brutal ab cut that does it for you? With the Sarge?
For me, it was with the sub teams, unless they were brand new characters. Like the only Tiger Force guy I have at all is Sky Striker, because that's the only way to get him, right? Yep. But unless the paint job improved the figure, improved on the original, I didn't need it. And growing up in Bend, Oregon, we didn't get any of these. I didn't even know they existed as a kid because we didn't have Toys R Us.
Yep.
So I found out about them later when I was.
Hey, Slaughter's Marauders weren't Toys R Us exclusive, though.
I don't know what they were exclusive to, but they were not in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so how do you feel about Sky Patrol? Just a new head.
They're unique characters.
They are all new characters.
I got all of them. Yep.
I love Sky Patrol. Hey, 11-year-old me had no clue they were rooking me with some reuses of figure sculpts. I thought it was brilliant.
No, and I pushed for those to be one of the G.I. Joe Collector Club sets.
Nice.
Because I'm like, come on, dude. They're all
You worked with Troy on that, didn't you? Did Troy McKee help on that?
I think so, yeah. And then I tried to run them down in a parking lot. But that's another story.
Okay.
So I have no real love for Slaughter's Marauders, for Tiger Force, or for Python Patrol, which I think is the best of the 3. But
Python Patrol decal or deco is really beautiful.
Yeah. And that I'll give them, but I don't know that any are improvements on the original.
Sure.
But that's also why I love Night Force, because it made Psych Out tolerable, right? It made Crazy Legs tactical instead of the first damn thing I'm going to shoot out of the sky, right?
Yep.
So that's why I'm such a sucker for Night Force.
Unless you're parachuting into a volcano and then he's camouflage.
Right. He's the volcanic paratrooper.
Okay, I will say, as a mint on card collector, I really appreciate Copperhead from Python Patrol and Sergeant Slaughter from Slaughter's Marauders, because that's the first time we got them on card backs with the beautiful paint job by Doug Hart. So those two are worth it to me, just to get them on the card.
That makes sense. But for me, the only guys I have on card, I think, are Skydiver, because I never bothered to open him, and he's fantastic from Fun School. I have a Mexican Zap version 2.
Nice.
So they call him Bill. That's awesome. I can't open Bill. And I have a Ninja Force Zartan. Don't know why. I assume that Pixel Dan's going to come try to steal him at some point. But
at least get him to sign it.
They're all open. So
Beal.
But I do want to give Hasbro credit, because we speculated that the Stinger would be more expensive than the Vamp, because with the roof and the doors and the missiles and everything, it's a lot more plastic than the Vamp had, and right in line with the Vamp. So kudos to them.
Nice.
I had a feeling that they were going to use that as an excuse anyway. I mean,
and I forgot about the spikes on the front of it. That's awesome.
But the Jeep itself is total reuse, so you'd figure they'd save some money on that. And so I'm happy that it's
tooling.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, so I was happy that it turned out to be the same.
Well, they'll be able to reuse that hood and doors for the inevitable Vamp Mark II Desert Edition.
That's it. Well, I mean, hey man, we're like Jesse Ventura, man. We tell it like it is.
Yep.
And when they deserve the props, they deserve the props. And when they deserve a little bump, like on those smoke effects coming out of the back of the missile backwards, we're gonna let you know about that too.
Probably for
oh my god, yes, the smoke comes. Oh no, Mark, why you point that out, man? Now I can't see that.
Now you can't see it. Like seeing Erica Durance in a Oxygen movie, and you're like, is that Lois? Yeah.
Oh no.
Sorry about that.
You can't reverse them either. Is there like a peg there so you can't reverse it?
I don't know. I would assume if you can, they would have, right?
No, don't assume that. It could be the photographer that doesn't know better.
That's 100% true. And I can't tell you how many times I went down to a Transformers photo shoot, and the photographers were like, thank God, because I don't know how to change this guy.
Yeah.
So any brand manager worth their salt should be there for every bit of the
I sure hope those are flippable. So that's why Ed Morrill was crucial back in the 80s. That dude showed up for every package shoot, every diorama shoot, all those vehicles, the photos that were on the back of them. He would show up at that all the time. You need somebody that's obsessed with it.
I always looked at it as like that. As the brand manager, you're not just a champion of the brand, but you're essentially the goalie, right? And you may not have done it wrong, but if you didn't stop that puck, if that puck's in your net, that's on you. So every bit of it is something a good brand manager should be trying to catch.
Yeah. Wow.
Moving forward. Next news item. At the end of today's presentation on YouTube, we got to see this big boy.
It is beefy.
And I swiped the pictures from Diana Davis's Facebook page. So wherever she swiped them from, that's for her to tell you.
Yeah, don't be banning us on YouTube.
Right. Right. A lot of strikes going around.
Silly.
But we got to see Nemesis, Immortal, Nay, Enforcer. Not out of the box. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lenny play with this guy, because I have a feeling that's going to be worth the price of admission in itself right there. That's the front and back of the box. I like that they've got the big clam on the back of the box. Another nice nod to the movie.
This kind of crustacean face mask, was that something from the movie? Did he ever become more crustacean?
No,
but I remember.
No, but I think it was part of an early draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing him with a helmet in early artwork.
Cool. I'd like to see it.
I'm too tired and didn't do any research for this in advance.
It makes me happy that they're playing with it a little bit. Like they're trying to do some different things.
Right.
Not just slavishly to the original designs.
Right. When nothing drives me nuts more than when they put out a nice update on a character, and the first comments I see are, "Well, it's not the same as it was in 1986."
Yeah. Yeah. Now, to be fair, like early on in the line where they were designing it like that Blackout video game, and they had like a bunch of teal and different.
Right. They made some choices that I didn't necessarily like there either, but I at least
Yeah.
appreciated that they were trying to be not so slavish
Yeah.
to stuff that happened 40 years ago.
I'm glad they were.
I mean, some of them worked. I thought Duke came out really well, but you know,
To
people were too busy.
To his eternal credit, someone who will remain nameless drew the line at giving the Baroness half purple hair and went, "No, we're not doing that." Yeah, that's what it's like in the video game. And someone over there said, "You know what? We are not doing that." So credit to that nameless, heroic bastard.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
take one for the team on that. We don't need purple hair Baroness.
No.
How do y'all feel about the typography, or am I the only one that looks at that 140? It's got this like organic kind of feeling to the typography.
I noticed that on the thing, and I couldn't tell what number it was at first. And I was like,
So legibility is down, right? Because of that treatment, but it very much screams like organic growth, which Cobra Law screams. So they're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying something.
But they still had to pay a royalty to Nickelodeon because it totally got slimed.
It does look slime. But I'm looking at my collection on the shelf, and I got the numbers pointing out, and that's probably why I think about, okay, how's that going to look on the shelf? That seems to be something relatively new for them to be playing around with.
I think that's true.
Okay. So that's the front and back. Now you're good.
Design
I imagine
nerd geeking out.
They said they were gonna. We were possibly going to see more of this at San Diego.
Yep.
So we will see more next month at San Diego.
Real quick, guys, I'm going to San Diego. I got a panel.
hey.
Nice.
I got a panel.
Oh wow.
I don't know if anybody's going to be there, so please be there. Like seriously, I don't want to have a panel and nobody show up.
Right, Phil.
It's going to be saving the art of G.I. Joe. You have to make a provocative title, right, for these panels to get people to come. So it's called Saving the Art of G.I. Joe, and I'm going to talk about how I started the website in 2012 and how that grew into the books and how I finally ended up a licensed champion of the brand.
Nice.
Whatever.
Right. I put in for a panel, What's on Joe Mind punches random con-goers in the face.
And they said no, so you're just going to do it on the floor?
It did not get picked up. And, you know, if they're not getting me out there, I can't go. So
yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Dude, San Diego, two things to remember. Burger Lounge, it's walkable from the convention center, and Hodad's. Oh, best milkshake you'll ever have in your life.
I'm going to text these real quick to my friend who I'm staying with. So Burger Lounge. And what else?
Hodad's. HODAD apostrophe S.
Got it.
Pure
Thank you.
Win. There you go.
Hodad's milkshakes.
Yeah, it's burgers and milkshakes.
Right.
Phenomenal.
All right. Got
Plus round table pizza. Now we're talking.
Appreciate the recommendations. It's my first time to San Diego.
Hey man, if you're not eating good, you're not eating.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Next news item.
Hodad's.
Yeah.
Free plug. That's called payola.
Right. Hit us up, Hodad's. Andrew Goggin says, try What's on Joe Mind wilding out San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe. Super 7 was unkind enough today to break some news at about, 6:30. They have exclusives at JoeFest. They decided to reveal what those were today. You can see a couple of them there. I think they've also got a 1,000-piece puzzle with a classic piece of art from Carson's book, which they probably didn't attribute to him, but that's fine because it's not his. But you can see there we've got a reaction Glenda and a reaction Cobra Mortal. And then we've got a T-shirt there with the Japanese G.I. Joe logos. I believe that's the main G.I. Joe logo, and then the one they had on the Sky Striker over there. I don't know. Carson, you're the guy who knows all the art. What's that all about?
It's the Japanese logo that they created for Takara. That's it.
All right.
And how bad does Phil Donnelly need that Japanese shirt, given all the weird Japanese G.I. Joe stuff he's been showing us?
I love it.
Right.
Instead of a real American hero, you've got fight, friendship, freedom. such a fun slogan.
It is pretty great.
Are we fighting? Are we fighting friendship so that we have freedom? I don't know. Fight, friendship, freedom.
I think the punctuation there notates that those are all things that we want to do.
We want to.
So we are not fighting friendship.
We want friendship and we want freedom.
Right.
We will fight for both.
There you go. It's just,
I mean, there
just not a sentence. It doesn't really say anything. It's just 3 words, guys.
there was a 4th F
Very
on
random.
there too, but they had to cut that one because
Yeah.
that's kids line.
Right.
Right.
That
Anyway.
shirt brought to you by Jingleheimer's Junction. Yes.
For anybody that hasn't gone, and watched the Takara G.I. Joe commercials, go watch those. They're like
Right.
brilliant. They're brilliant stop motion animation. So
As most, they do some real entertaining ones for the old Transformers lines too. So
Yes, the Diaclone. Joe.
but yep, fight, freedom, friendship, fucking all that other good stuff.
whatever
all the Fs.
whatever order you want to put it in,
Right.
Freedom, fight, friendship.
Let's hear it for Team Friendship.
I'm gonna get that shirt though. As long as it's not like $40.
Yeah, which it may be. I don't know.
Buy it on Sunday.
You never know with the Super 7 stuff.
Try to haggle on Sunday.
Haggle on Sunday.
Yeah, you guys come haggle me for those 6 pallets on Sunday, please. I don't.
That's my plan. I'm going to wear the What's on Joe Mind shirt on Sunday, and I'm going to haggle like a jerk. Like, what's that? $50? How about 4?
God, that What's on Joe Mind guy. Jeez.
Yeah.
They're probably not inviting us back next year, so we might as well just go for broke this time. Anyways. Moving forward, next news item.
Friendship.
Thanks for the Tuesday night news drop, Super 7. Hey, in case you forgot, that Kickstarter thing's still going. Racktime Rob, be sure to pull us up. Get it. You're our senior Kickstarter correspondent, so we need a total on this one.
All right, let me do a quick update here because I've had it up for a while.
But that's going through June 26th. It funded in 6 freaking minutes. It's got its own bump. So yeah, go ahead. If you haven't pledged this one yet, you may pledge with confidence. I have a good feeling this is going to happen. But where are we at, Racktime Rob?
All right, off of a goal of $50,000, it is currently sitting at $2,383,543. So I think it's got a shot, Mike.
So it is starting to make that final turn into the home stretch. So if you haven't pledged yet, you got about a little over a week left to do so.
7 days, according to the calendar here.
Right. So basically a week from Wednesday at 3 p.m., this one's done. And if you haven't pledged by then, you may be the only kid left in the neighborhood without it.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of books. Just think, they haven't even hit that end of the campaign bump yet.
Yeah.
That 2.5 million pledge goal might just happen after all.
Look, I don't want to toot our own horn, but yet another Kickstarter that we helped get funded.
I guess we did mention it before it opened, but we didn't even get a chance because, again, funded in 6 freaking minutes. So, all right. I would have been nice to be in on the fight on this one, but maybe we just got it across the finish line before it even started.
Did you guys see their update today?
No, because it's a Tuesday. No.
They shared my book today.
Nice.
Dude,
so
it's
so
the
this is
best day.
So this is all about you then. That's what you're saying.
I mean, it's a sidebar, man. I'm making a sidebar here. It's the best day I've had on book sales since December when the book hit.
Nice.
So I'm not gonna say it's not beating those days because I shipped 4,000 in 4 days, so those all dropped and then everybody was sharing them, and so the sales were like crazy for December, January. But this is like a return to that greatness, which is amazing. It's just gonna be a blip, you know what I mean? But
Did you know it was coming, that they were going to share it today?
We talked last week, and they were like, "Hey, we were thinking we have projects that are very similar," and I was like, "Yeah, we do." And they were like, "Would you be interested in cross promoting?" And I was like, "I've never done a paid promotion, so as long as it's not compensated, I share things that I believe in all the time, you know." And so I said, I backed your thing on day one. Of course, I'd be happy to share it. And so I sent out an email blast yesterday and put it out on social media too. And then they shared it today on their update, which is awesome.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Isn't that nice when people work together, man?
Absolutely.
Because they are very similar projects. Like one is all the art,
yeah.
the other is all the comics. It's like
I can't imagine a Joe fan loving one and hating the other. Like,
Right.
Get that away. Come on.
Right. Oh, I don't read the comics, please.
Right. Oh, the comics, that's kids stuff.
Yeah, or who likes toys? I just like comics. Yeah, right.
Right. Toys are for kids.
Right. Comic books. I am a toy collector, sir.
Right.
Anyways, moving on.
Did you see Diana's comment about the?
Remember, folks, Diana is part of the team over at Skybound. She found out today that she has to review the second draft of all 4 books before tomorrow night. So excellent.
Oh boy. That's only about 4,000. Actually, Diana, how many pages is that?
8 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's
going to be a lot.
It's a weighty task.
What is she doing on YouTube right now? Go read.
Don't stop kicking our guests off.
She said each book is around 1,200 pages, so she's only got 4,800 pages to read.
Jesus, man, a guy comes back for one show every 6 months. He thinks he can kick the audience off.
Good luck, Diana. Very,
Keep Duke's sash on the right shoulder. Make sure Major Blood has the wrong eye missing, and keep that crossbow in Scarlet's right hand, and you are good to go.
You should just put it in her left hand just to make Mark wig out.
Because she's amphibious.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's it.
That was an NC State player, wasn't it? When he was doing an interview.
I think it was.
I think it was an NC State player. God, we got the dumbest player.
Says the Duke guy.
Hey, I graduated from NC State, though, to be fair. So I claim Wolfpack, you know.
Wolfpack.
I paid State, Duke paid me, you know.
Hey, there you go. That's the way to work it.
Mm-hmm. Get those private schools to pay you the money.
Do you do the Wolfpack horns like Kevin Nash? All right, excellent.
That's it.
All right.
Yep.
Good, because that's the proper way to go.
I was there when we had Phillip Rivers and Jericho Cotchery and Torrey Holt. Like, we were balling back then, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good club.
It was a good game.
Next news item.
Sweet.
Pack.
Oh, hey, remember last week the Renegade Game Studios June event did launch this pre-order for the Specialist Pack Bat Assault and G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Just wanted to give this another week to breathe because there's a lot of money flying around these days. June is a big month. So this one's sitting out there for you for pre-order. It is expected next month, just $45. If you're already in on Mission Critical, it's another great expansion. Lets you play as General Hawk. Gives the game the enemy Lieutenant Wild Weasel and introduces elite troopers. The first of which are the Cobra Battle Android troopers. For a limited time, if a pre-order purchase will also get you vehicle pack number 5. So move fast. I think that vehicle pack time is running out. Cheapest big spender. So Carson, has the show gotten better or worse since you left it? Asking for a friend. I would say since Carson is on the show, it's gotten much worse.
I'd say Mike's got his sea legs about this technology. He's definitely more quick and savvy on the draw with it. So kudos, Mikey.
Plus, we have nonstop product now.
Right, that helps. That really helps.
When we were doing the show back in the day, like Mike, you barely dipped our toes into YouTube, you know?
Yeah, so. That was really the transition time. Your very last couple of regular episodes. We've had you on as a guest many times since, of course. But your last regular episodes were among the first of the YouTube episodes.
Things have changed, man. Everybody's on YouTube these days.
Back then, it was just audio and OnlyFans. So,
yeah,
right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I push my D+ video creation skills to the limit. And often it usually just turns out that I've got something like this.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Next news item.
Do.
Boop, 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 boop.
See,
we missed Mr. Sacco last week, so we needed a little extra Mr. Sacco this week. The Summer Geek Out continues. The first Friday bore nothing of any interest for G.I. Joe fans, but Mark is keeping a watchful eye all the same.
Good.
Unless you wanted a Sergeant Rock figure with no gun.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, it is.
Not his fault, but ooh.
Right. In some nifty.
Not whose fault? Todd McFarlane's fault or somebody else's fault?
Todd's making a Sergeant Rock figure that looks pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but DC doesn't allow firearms or limited weapons with their figures now.
Oh, come
So Sergeant Rock comes with a shovel and a knife.
Whose legs are they using for that figure? I saw somebody complaining about them reusing somebody's legs.
They're actually
Pain,
mine.
I think.
Ooh.
Oh. So he skipped leg day?
They're Golden Age Green Lantern. It's really an odd.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's actually
You want to know the
Mars
worst
sapphire,
leg
I
usage?
believe.
The worst leg usage ever was 1993 G.I. Joe Street Fighter 2. Was it Zangief? And he had these pale flesh-colored legs, but then there was like these like sculpted blocks and like things in his leg. Y'all go look at this figure. It's an abomination. It's horrible. Can't believe they did that.
Right. So Figure 6-pack notes that you can get 3D printed World War II weapons for Sergeant Rock, but I contend that even if they're crummy weapons, you shouldn't have to buy extra to merely outfit your figure. Like you should have an option that accurately depicts who Sergeant Rock is and what he did and what he was about without having to buy extra. If you want to buy extra, fine, but you shouldn't have to. And that figure makes you have to.
Yeah. Although if you need weapons packs, as Andrew Gogan would tell you in the comments,
I hear it's an amazing value.
If only some company sold a Tommy gun in a weapons pack.
I'm just saying. But I agree with the basic concept. If you're asking fans to buy more to make the basic figure,
well, that's how I felt with the early classified figures where they had Nerf guns, and I was like, "What is this? I know."
Right. But again, they're at least giving you weapons.
Right, I know.
They have guns, and if you don't like those guns, go get your own guns.
Yeah.
But that was the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the motif they were trying to establish didn't work. They jumped away from it reasonably quickly. But there's plenty of weapons. Your Joes are kitted out. They're not fighting Cobra with shovels.
That's wild that they did
Rob will help me here. A couple years ago, I bought a McFarlane Batman just because it came with like 800 firearms. It was like Arsenal Batman. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because Batman loves guns.
Yeah, he doesn't like guns, but he loves semi-automatics, boy, let me tell you. I think it was called the F It Batman. He was just like, let's go. Everyone in Gotham dies tonight.
If you're robbing a bank, you're not.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I've got a wiener dog revolt right there.
Uh-oh.
They need to go outside, so I'll be back. You guys keep rolling.
All right. The camera's going to follow Carson as he walks to the door.
Sounds like
it is. Well, look at that.
Wait, why is he taking the dogs outside?
Because they're begging to go outside. He needs a soundtrack, clearly.
Why do the dogs need to go outside, though? I'm not following.
Because unlike your dog, Mark, sometimes dogs like to poop outside.
Oh, so his dogs are trained.
Yeah. Right. Or they haven't had the instincts bred out of them. Yeah. Not every dog likes to just poop on the rug and then poop on the spot in memory of the rug.
We got rid of the rug and she still poops in the same spot.
I mean, look, that rug and her were bonded and you dumped the rug. That's kind of on you.
You should just put a litter box where the rug was. It'd be perfect.
That's not a bad idea. But she'll probably poop on the floor and then play in the sand. So,
man,
she doesn't hit me as the brightest pup, Mark.
She's not smart. She is sweet, and her lack of training ain't her fault, right? So,
right. And you did get rid of her pooping rug, so it's kind of on you.
Yeah. Well, I just do what I'm told, man. Let's be honest.
I know how that goes. It's a matter of public record in Jackson County, Missouri.
The horns are brought to you by Roosh, by the way.
No, they're not.
No?
No, Roosh didn't give us no nothing for this. We're not shouting out Roosh.
Like
Roosh can pay up if he wants a mention on What's on Joe Mind.
couple weeks ago when he debuted his catchphrase, "You mess with the bull, you get the horns." And I'm like, "You get the what? What do you get?"
As Nick Adams says, you got to go to a poop spot and drop a deuce yourself to assert dominance.
Right?
There you go. That'll solve the problem.
We had one dog when I was growing up, and he dropped a good one right in the living room, right in front of my dad, who softened over the years, but back then had a little more of an edge to him. And he went over, grabbed said dog by the neck, dragged it to the poop, and stuffed its nose into it. And that was the last time that dog pooped in the house. So
our dog growing up, he did it when he was trying to make a statement.
Yes. If they poop in their house, they're trying to tell you something.
That was his form of political upheaval.
If they pee in the bed, they're really trying to tell you something.
Oh boy.
Right. I mean, that's usually hey, this bed smells like pee. But anyway, no, moving on. So Summer Geek Out, keep an eye out for it on Friday. I don't expect we're going to see a whole lot of earth-shattering G.I. Joe content come out of this, but we would be remiss if we didn't tell you.
I'm always excited for this so I can see which toys I can't buy myself that I can beg other people to get for me.
And by other people, you mean Rob and I.
I do.
Yeah. Carson, be happy you're not on the list for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, why can't you buy?
No, I send him messages. He's just busy.
Mark, why can't you buy from Target? What's going on?
Target canceled. I had 2 Vipers pre-ordered years ago, and they canceled them. Canceled my pre-orders on me because they said I didn't answer an email asking if I still wanted them. But they never sent that email, and so I went up 5 levels of customer service as high as I could go, and just went, "Send me my Vipers or lose a customer." It's that simple. And they said, "We can give you a $5 gift certificate." And I said, "Send me that because I'll give it to somebody else who still shops there." And that was the last time I shipped. Well, no, I've been in a Target, but that's the last time I spent my money in a Target.
Right.
Once in a while, the wife will go, "Can you pick up an order from Target?" And I'm like, "Is it prepaid?" Because I'll be the beast of burden. I got no problem with that, but they're not seeing a dime from Lord Weber.
There was one time where he absentmindedly reached to buy some mints, and they burned his hand.
Right, can't do it.
That's how the hatred flowed through him.
Can't do it.
Like holy water on a vampire.
I broke up with Target.
Anyways, moving forward, there's many dog and poop questions being thrown at the live chat. We're just going to let those go. We're going to move on to the next item. Next news item.
Target sucks.
Hey, Skybound's got some stuff going on this week. We got the compilation trade paperback of the Cobra Commander miniseries. That is coming out tomorrow. Of course, written by Joshua Williamson, pencils by Andrea Milana and Annalisa Leone. That is the cover from Cobra Commander #1. I forget what the backup cover is. I don't know. But it's all there for you. Cobra Commander was a great series. Really loved the bits with the Dreadnoks. Really, they're probably better rounded characters in 3 issues of Cobra Commander than they were in any other form of media over the years. Well, no, IDW had fun with Dreadnoks, so I'm gonna rescind that statement a little bit. Props to IDW.
Rob, you want to weigh in on this?
I always thought issue 35 was a good Dreadnought issue.
I thought the Dreadnoks had some of the best covers back in the earlier Real American Hero era.
Right,
either cutting up the Sky Striker or just riding their 3 Harleys down the road. Like they had some really epic moments, but I honestly can't recall where the story's that great.
I think they arrested Ripper in Devil's Due, and he said, "You can't do that to me, or I'll jumbly wumbly dumbly do," which is pretty good for Ripper.
All right, Mark has apparently been drinking tonight.
Well,
just go ahead and we're gonna leave him on the screen. I'm gonna kill that microphone. Carson, I'll leave it to you for next news item.
Look, I already got my spot back.
Also coming up, G.I. Joe Real American Hero 307 is happening tomorrow. Written by Larry Hama, the legend, of course. Pencils by Tony Cordos and Paul Pelletier. Colors by Francesco Segala. Francesco.
Doing good with these pronunciations.
Rated Z. When your name is Irizarry, you make it a point to try and get people's names right.
Yeah.
Rated Z for Zartan, because I think it's a continuation of last issue. But who knows? Who knows? Who can tell? God only knows. I should probably undo Mark's. There we go. Mark is now unmuted again. Mark, how do you feel about dog poop and Target?
Target, man.
All right, he's back out again. Anyways. Oh, my goodness. So again, this is got some good momentum going in Real American Hero 2. I know the talk has mostly been centered around the new series, but Larry's doing some great work right now on Real American Hero, so be sure to stay tuned to that one. And of course, that leads into Destro issue 1, also happening tomorrow. Big week in Skybound for G.I. Joe. Written by Dan Waters, pencils by Andre Bresson, colors by Adriano Lucas. This is rated G for guns. Carson, you're looking forward to this one?
I'm buying all of these, and I'm looking forward to finding the time to read them. Everything that I've heard about the new Energon universe has been very positive. So this is the first time that I went back into a comic shop and started my pulls back up. For those that don't know, I'm also a diehard Valiant Comics fan. That whole column full of comic books is Valiant from back in the early 90s. And they're having a resurgence this summer too. So I'm like, my two favorite, comic book brands, G.I. Joe and Valiant, are both kind of surging right now, which is amazing. So I've got a ton of books being pulled for me. I look forward to reading them. But first, I got to get y'all's digipacks out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And have to unearth yourself from under a pile of 300-pound books.
Mm-hmm.
Racktime Rob, have you had to gnaw your leg off yet?
No, not
right.
yet.
That's for the best. We will, if necessary, we will send in Mark's dog.
They're starting to tingle, so it means I'm actually getting some circulation back.
Good. It means that when it fell on you, it did not sever your lower spine.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on a pile with a robot hand, a bunch of bat body parts, and then maybe a vehicle on the right, or maybe it's just more of that same Transformer.
Probably part of the Transformer, yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty great cover.
Yeah, the 5-page preview on this one was pretty neat too, as it's the bats going apeshit on a bunch of folks. So good stuff coming in this Destro series, I feel.
Just to protest, wouldn't they actually be going batshit?
Batshit crazy.
Just saying. Yeah.
It writes itself, doesn't it?
It does.
That's the brand manager coming out right there.
Marketing.
Marketing.
That's he puts the mark in marketing.
I do, or I used to. I still do a little bit.
Right now you just put the toy in the box.
No, I just autograph package slips. No, I do all sorts of stuff, man. Today I was changing the lock. It was pretty exciting.
Oh my God.
I'm writing file cards, man.
That's right. That's true.
Sweet.
You're the first to respond when some goober lashes out at you for mistakenly calling a Marine a soldier.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the first guy to answer the email. How come my order didn't ship yet? The one that says send in 20 action points. Have you sent in your 20 action points? Like 5 times a week.
Right. Oh, I'm sure.
And
if anything, I'm surprised it's only 5.
If you go to the site, the thumbnail says in all caps, requires action points. And then it explains it in painstaking detail on the product page. But 3 to 4 times a week. My order. You guys are normally fast.
You're fast when you're getting paid correctly.
I'm just saying, follow the instructions, man.
Right. Look, I'm on your side here, man. I'm not criticizing.
Man, appreciate it.
I mean, if I was criticizing, I'd be putting up, depend undergarments guy, and where I'm not doing that. So, oh wait, I did just do that. So.
He stuffs his trousers. I tell you, he stuffs his trousers.
Remember, when you got some juice loose in your caboose, put some Depend on your end. Take care of that right away.
This is the only work former Arizona State coach Todd Graham can get these days. I'm glad he found another job because, man, he was a lousy coach.
And look how happy he is.
Yeah, he's so happy now
look
that
at
he's
him.
not.
He's thrilled.
Right.
Todd Graham call out today.
That
My
guy,
God.
the last year of his, or year and a half of his reign of terror, he just decided he would blitz on every down, and sooner or later it would work. And it was just atrocious.
I mean, when you don't have anything else.
Dude, they were like lost 5 in a row, and a reporter actually asked him, so "You're very aggressive with the blitz," and he said, "You know what happens if we don't blitz? We lose." I'm like, "Hey, you know what happens when you blitz every down? You still lose.
You still lose.
Just saying."
You lose by more because you're blowing coverages all over the place.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm going to give your fire the trumpet flare mark. That's what you're on today.
Loving it.
On. Anyways. Oh my God. But yeah, Carson, your camera followed you the entire way, as long as it could.
That's just so I can show off the Feast or Wish shirt.
Right. It was you're thirst trapping all the one ladies that are watching us.
Nice.
There's at least one.
Right.
She's happily married, but whatever.
Right.
And she needs to be reading about 4,800 words.
That's right.
Yeah, 4,800 pages.
She needs to be
4,800 pages. Thank you.
She needs to be watching What's on Joe Mind. Diana Davis understands the assignment.
Yeah.
She knows what's up.
Next news item.
Hey, look, one of those issues has no words, so that's going to go fast.
Oh, yeah, that one will be quick.
Skybound Bits, Void Rivals happens next week. Speaking of happening next week, I don't know if we're happening next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're getting back from excuse me. We're getting back from Augusta, and then the next day, I don't know, because that involves an awful lot of production and prep that will not be done.
We may, if we do a show, we'll probably just fire the mics on and the cameras up and be like, "So what do you guys want to talk about?"
Right. Be sitting here in underwear drinking beer.
Not in underwear, my friend. You'll be wearing the Depends. That's what I'm.
That's right. Yeah, we can
just.
I mean, that's how we're driving down there.
Right.
Oh, like the astronaut in Love.
Right. I'm probably going to need the XL though, but that guy didn't look nearly as happy as this guy.
I feel like I have to look away every time you put that up. God.
That's okay. It's safe now.
I can see it. I can see it out of the corner of my eye.
Safe.
It's interesting that he's got everything tucked into the underwear.
I mean,
but
he literally has everything tucked in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Next news item.
That's how he's stuffing the crotch.
Depends.
Hey, that's it. That's get your Chucky Tank Kitty news from the G.I. Joe 3D printing podcast, which I magically did not call the 3D Joe's printing podcast today. Will wonders never cease. No Chunky Tank Kitty news for JoeFest, but hey, remember, Staff Sergeant C-Nugs in action figures at our booth. Be sure to check them out. That's again courtesy of Techno Viper 3D on Instagram. We call him Michael Kleppinger. Stick with us. We'll be right back with you after a quick word from our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
So, Carson, we have already talked at length about what you're bringing to JoeFest this year. But real quick, there's something that we did not touch base on that you've tossed up in the news in the last couple of weeks. We did mention it when it happened, but it's been a couple of weeks since, and we just want to make sure we're hearing it from the man himself. What the heck's going on here?
Oh, Thank you for bringing that up, man. So basically, with the Digipack, I know I sound like a broken record talking about the Digipack, but since I hit print on the book, I took the 50 hours worth of interviews that I filmed with the creators and distilled that down to about 9 hours worth of new video interview content with cutaways and music and graphics and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm authoring that in these Blu-ray Digipacks. It's going to be a 4-disc set. But there are international backers that have already paid a boatload of shipping for the book, and I wanted to give them an option to watch these videos online. And so while I've been working on authoring the Blu-rays, I also in parallel started working on setting up a 3D Joe's streaming video platform. So that's up right now. Like if you don't want to wait for the Digipack to see the 9 hours worth of content, it's out there. You can go watch it right now. You just have to subscribe. So in YouTube, they have what's called memberships now. So if you subscribe to somebody, it just puts their next video into your feed kind of thing. But they have something like a level above that. It's kind of like Patreon, where you join the YouTube page and you pay a monthly subscription, and it gives you access to member only videos. And so if you're just chomping at if you're one of those international backers that doesn't want to pay for shipping and doesn't care for the Digipack, you can go watch it on YouTube now, or you can watch it on the standalone 3D Joe's streaming platform. The easiest, I sent this out through a Kickstarter update, but the easiest way to get to it, just go to 3djoes.com, and on the banner along the top, click on support. And then that'll take you to what the image you're looking at right now. And basically, I'm asking people to do 3 things. Number 1, sign up for the 3D Joe's email list. This is how I'll let you know about, new projects that we're going to be rolling out, like maybe a remastered poster series, maybe a future book. We'll see. We'll see. I've got approval for one of those things. We'll see. But the best way to stay up to date with what 3D Joe's is going to do next is sign up for that email list. And then number 2, subscribe to the 3D Joe's video channel. And then number 3, if you're so inclined, you can donate to 3D Joe's, because believe it or not, over the last 2 years, I've worked near full time on that book and on that Digipack. And my video and animation business has not been making much money because I'm giving it all away to freelancers, which makes the freelancers very happy, right? And it makes my soul happy because I'm working on what I want to work on, but I'm making a lot less money. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, for the first time, I've kind of put up an official, like, hey, here are the things you can do to help 3D Joe's. You can sign up for the email list and support, upcoming projects. You can subscribe to the videos, or you can make a donation. So I've had some really great people reach out and do that. And it's always very, very touching. It's very meaningful. So thank you for asking.
There you go. We're all about getting things to self-monetize.
Yeah. I mean, what I tell people is that I worked on that book series from 2015 until 2021 part-time, right? Like I did that nights and weekends in addition to my video and animation and trying to have a life. When the Kickstarter really went pretty bonkers, relatively bonkers, not Skybound bonkers, but 3D Joe's bonkers. And it raised $393,000 in like 2 weeks. It was bonkers. That gave me, I gave myself permission for the first time to work on this stuff near full time. Right. And so the outcome of that is that 712-page book that I made over the course of a year and a half, and the upcoming Digipack that I've made over the last 6 months. But yeah, it's just not a super lucrative lifestyle. And so I'm trying to, find other ways to monetize it, to kind of continue to give myself permission to continue doing this stuff near full time,
There you go.
I've got a 4-year-old daughter, there's things that I got responsibilities.
We want to feed the dogs good Chinese food.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Who's going to feed the dogs crab rangoon? So
nothing sits in a dog's stomach like crab meat with a K and cream cheese.
Man, they've been trained for it. They've been training their whole lives, man. They can handle it.
Head over to 3djoes.com. Follow the instructions Carson gave you. If you need, pause the video when we're done. Go back and he'll tell you again. I swear, honest.
The short URL is just 3djoes.com/support. So if you want to check it out, 3djoes.com/support.
All right. Real quick, let's get to the post side. Good insert applicable time of day here. Anyone in the central North Carolina area who is not going to the inside pitch shows should start going. Carson, have you gone to the inside pitch shows?
I have. They have these at the fairgrounds up in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been there quite a bit. Hey, where we met Larry, Carson, Jim Shooter. There you go.
Dad and I went to the 8th of June Salisbury one. Found a warthog, a night landing craft, a mess of $5 reaction army builders, a couple of vintage O-rings, a Stargate figure, third-party Vietnam Memorial model kit. It's kind of cool. Oh, and a complete adventure team Bullet Man.
Nice.
All right. We did not go to 15th of June Raleigh, as precedence was given to Heroes Con, where we met Larry, Carson, Jim Shooter, and plugged the damn show. Even though it is a large general comic show, there was a good amount of Joe stuff there. Lots of comic retailers with Joe issues from all eras and publishers, of course. Also saw at least 3 booths with vintage Joe toys and a considerable number carrying classified. So big plug for Inside Pitch. If I'm not mixing up shows in my head.
That second paragraph was about Heroes Con, which is in Charlotte.
Right. Yeah. And we did have that one on community calendar as well. We're big on the Heroes Con.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge comic show. And if I don't, Racktime Rob actually threatened to shoot me.
It's a great show.
If I'm not mixing up shows in my head, I believe you've shouted out Instagram pages before. I don't remember, but sure. We ask for letters. He's sending us a letter. We're going to plug his Instagram page. Yeah. I've started one for pictures I'm starting to do in my collection. I'd like to get some eyes on if you don't mind. I'm attaching some of the photos I've put up. It is at millennial_GI Joe_fan. Matches my initials and my generational grouping. Can you ask for more synergy than that? Mark Weber, can you ask for more synergy than that?
You can, but it's still marketing.
Hey! Thank you for all y'all do, and looking forward to seeing everyone at JoeFest next weekend. That is from Michael Gene Fleming. And we got a couple of photos there. That is Michael's dad, Dennis. And
I remember them. Yeah.
There is Michael with Dennis and Larry Hama. I don't believe they were able to take Larry Hama home. I believe he is safe and expected in Dallas this weekend. But there we are there. And then a couple of photos from the collection. You can see those Skeletron robot spider thingies, as well as a quiet gathering where the Arashikaji clan is feeding good Asian food to the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Not remarking about how Akiko's still not dead.
Yeah, Akiko, I can't believe you're not dead.
Right. The food might be poisoned. Akiko, try it since you're immortal.
But more bread, please. This is a new name. Carson, appreciate all that you've done for the fans. So they're piling on.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. And I remember meeting him and his father at the show at Heroes Con. They were super nice.
They seem to be. We will find out for certain this weekend, as I will use my advanced interrogation techniques to find out for sure. Skeletron is in the house tonight. Thinking Carson's code name is Digipack.
That's what the R stands for.
Right?
It's Digipack. I'm Hardball Driver. Remember Ron Rudat named me Hardball Driver.
I mean, maybe he was just complimenting the quality of your balls.
I had to follow up.
Have him sign your hardball figure and see if he goes, "You're a real leatherneck." That'd be awesome.
Dennis Fleming in the house. Thanks,
There
Carson.
he is.
There you
What's
go.
up, man?
That's the broke gunny himself right there. But one of our Kofi backers as well. So remember, if you got after all this Joe stuff and all the Carson projects, if you still have a couple of dollars left every month, we do have a coffee donation down there. If you set up yourself for a monthly donation, you get your name in the closing credits. We don't believe in nice. Hiding stuff behind paywalls, because Lord knows that would be a shame with as little prep work as we do comparatively. With as few video production skills are on our team on a daily basis, that would be a real sin. But it does help us maintain our costs, our monthly costs on the channel. So we appreciate every single dollar you send to us. And all it takes is $1 every month to get you in the credits at the end of the show. Because that's what my D+ video production skills can handle. But Cheapest Big Spender asked, Carson left the show and look how successful he is. You guys ever wonder if the show is holding you down? I don't wonder if the show is holding me down. I'm very certain the show is holding me down.
That's so mean.
Hey man, I had to get unemployed to get on the show.
Right?
So-
I mean,
There you go.
Shoot. Yeah, I mean, we're all but certain that the show is holding us down, but we're here for you.
Mhm.
You're not the biggest group of fans, but we hope you're the best entertained fans, and that's what we shoot for. We hope you're the best informed fans because you are the best fans. Now give us some money.
We're not the show you need. We are the show you deserve.
Well, that's the end of this. It was a good run.
It was good, everybody. 13
Yeah.
years.
Good,
We're wrapping it
everybody.
up tonight.
Glad I could be back for it.
It's old home week. Anyhow, real quick, this is something I've been trying to get in for like 2 weeks now, but now that Carson's here and you know we're 30 seconds away from the 2-hour mark, so that means that we're running a little short. It's finally time for a live unboxing.
That was creepy.
That's right,
What the hell was that?
Is that
Buddy.
from Invincible? What's that from?
because Mike's got the box knife out.
Ah, don't
Do it.
harm the host.
It's
Do it.
always a dicey project. A
Mm.
dicey prospect, rather. See, I'm pretty tired, and here we are going long, but I'm doing this. 2 weeks I've been sitting and waiting for this. We're gonna open this damn thing, and you're all gonna see it. So here we go. There we go.
Should we take guesses?
Is this from the guy that sends you nudie cards?
It is not that. It is not from Kevin Watts.
Okay. Who I was going to leave out of it, but
Oh, Kevin doesn't mind that. No, that's fine.
I
Remember,
wasn't.
we were throwing his name around that whole episode. That's part of his brand.
Hey, leave me out of this, Neil Diamond. No, I will leave you in.
We're getting and for the record, I did not buy a baby whale fountain. That is just a box.
Mhm.
which was endlessly disappointing.
We're not judging you, Mike. If you
Right
did.
after
Yeah.
seeing the baby whale fountain box, I kind of wish I had a baby whale fountain. To be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, but I do not have, or at least this should not be a baby whale fountain.
Oh, this could be a bait and switch.
Talk about
Maybe
swerve.
if I got a baby whale fountain, I'm not even calling eBay. I'm just taking the baby whale fountain.
Take the win.
It's not the win I was hoping for, but it is a win. So you know, that's all that's left in here is a bag. So we're good there. That's it again. This has been 3 weeks, so I don't quite remember what it is. All
Did
right.
I autograph that packing slip?
No,
Okay. Getting lazy.
no, I just that holds no value for me. I just throw those out. Empty bag. And of course, it turns out this is actually the most recent purchase I have made, and it's been 3 weeks because I've been saving money for JoeFest.
Nice.
But it is another beachhead.
None
Oh,
other
there
than
you go.
It is. It's another one, which means we have another. That's right. It's number 160. He's got all of his gear. I'll wave him up in front of the camera again in a second.
it's a big number, man. We got to
I
get
mean,
you
that's-
together with that snow serpent guy out of Las Vegas.
There's a snow serpent guy in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, there's an interesting Joe thread if you ever want to Google for it. I think the title of the thread was like, "Why are snow serpents going for so much lately?" And the speculation went on for like many pages, and then the dude just started like checking in on the thread and talking about it. And he was just this rich casino executive that literally thought he could move the market like by buying all the snow serpents. Go read the thread. I'm not going to try
Right.
to recap what he wrote, but this dude thought he was doing an economic like experiment. Like what?
Okay. It's what because people have accused me of that with beachheads, of course.
No.
And I always say to them that I'm going to have to be collecting for a heck of a lot longer to make any sort of indentation
Mhm.
on the beachhead market. From what I understand, that the two biggest years of sales
Mm-hmm.
for the line in regards to 3 3/4 were 1986 and 1987, right?
86, I think in 85. There's a chart. So there is a chart.
Okay, but 87 is in the neighborhood. Like 86 was number one.
Right.
And it's either 85 or 87. So Beachhead is basically on the shelves for 2 of the 3 biggest selling years of the entire line.
Yes.
Moving millions upon millions of units, millions of dollars. There's what, 1 million Beachhead figures out there? I got to drop in the bucket.
I think it was 1 million per year at that peak level. So he was on shelves for 2 years. So I think there's at least 2 million Beachheads out there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and sure, some of them have broken and what have you.
Yeah, been trashed.
You know, been lost to the sands of time. But I haven't moved the needle one bit.
Yeah.
So all the haters
until Operation Beach Slam goes into effect.
Okay,
that's right.
Mike,
I
found it. I just pulled up the graphic from one of the Kirk Bazigian video I've been working on.
Excellent. Are you able to share that?
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Right.
Let's see. Present. Share screen, and let's go to window and
make sure to share audio, or no one will hear your baseball game.
Can you see this right here?
There we go.
Okay. So
there we go. Oh, it's Kirk. He's admonishing you for sharing his graphic.
All right, there we go. Thanks to Joe Declassified for sharing this with me. I just rebuilt it. So 1986, peak year of sales, $182 million in sales of just G.I. Joe. The boys' toys market was $1.1 billion in 1986. Ooh. Now, the boys' toys market actually had a pretty precipitous fall off in 1987. As you can see, it dropped about 40%. G.I. Joe only dropped a little bit, down to 155. So yes, Mike, it is 1986 in the lead, 1987 right behind it, 1985 coming up in third place. And I don't think any of the 91, 92, I've got that in another video when I talked to Vinny DeLevia. 1991 does not break 100 million. You can see 1990 is abysmal. That's 1/3 almost of what they did in 86. 91 climbs up, 92 climbs up and bust 100 million for the first time, if I remember correctly, in several years. And then 1993 fell off a little bit, despite them doing 5 million different action figures.
Right. And my understanding is that 92, they included the sales figures with the 12-inch G.I. Joe.
You're absolutely right. And
so 3 3/4 sales in 92 were still not that great.
So what Vinny DeLevia told me was that they made $30 million on just the 12 inches in 1992. So 91 was when they did the Duke 1 12-inch, right? And then 92 was when they expanded the line, and 92 was when they made 30 million on the 12-inch expanded line. And that would mean, because they barely made 100 million that year, that would still mean that 3 3/4 was only doing 70. So
but Doug Dello, look out, JoeFest, no Beachhead is safe. That's correct. That's correct.
That's not true though. If it's above a certain unnamed level,
I have a line that I do not cross. I have never overspent in the name of one of the most common figures in the entire line. I refuse. It's not going to happen. Even though right now everything's going crazy with vintage pricing, I still haven't done that. So.
Yeah, if your Beachhead is over that line, maybe we'll talk on Sunday.
We'll talk on Sunday. While we're at it, here's another box from Big Bad Toy Store. I got a box knife and a box and a little bit of time, so I'm gonna tempt fate and not cut my hands a second time.
All right, good luck. Godspeed.
Diana Davis, cover your eyes. I know she's always the one saying that I'm terrible with the box knife.
Yeah, don't cut towards yourself.
Band-Aids in the bathroom.
So that guy in that casino owner or executive must have been pretty proud of himself until he turned that corner late one night, and there was Adam Riches with 190 Royal Guards just ready to whip that ass. Yeah.
Or Brian Kaufman and 3,000 crystal balls.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with that though, man. Like, who doesn't want to get rid of a crystal ball?
Right. You only need one.
I've given him a few.
He's not an army builder.
He got paid to take some of those crystal balls. Right? He's making money on that.
I will say this: I could use a second Hypno Shield, because can you imagine the power of having one on each? Right? Look out!
But,
Captain America would be envious.
Yeah,
this is the long-awaited purchase. When Bill from Fresh Monkey Fiction was on, I told him I ordered some of his stuff, and I wasn't lying.
Oh, nice!
But here's Count Iron Moon, and here's the Kilowarg. The Red Shadows werewolf guy.
Man, Red Shadows is everywhere right now.
Right. And here's the Legionnaire with his bucket hat.
Yep.
And here is, of course, the crown jewel, the Gorgills.
Yeah.
You can't beat the Gorgills. He's stupendous. And of course, named after our friend and former guest, Eric Gordlist of the Surveillance Port. So right there, I feel like I'm backing a winning team there. And then, of course, the Long Box Heroes tick collection.
Oh, nice.
We got the tick, and we got
Spoon.
The tick in his secret identity with his tie.
That's such a stupid cartoon. I love it.
Then we've got Barry.
It's Barry.
So you can't beat that.
Yeah. Hey, we should shout out the Battle Action Force books, man, while we're on the Red Shadows. Do you see they dropped those books yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday for pre-order.
Yes.
So they'll be showing those at JoeFest too.
Excellent. That's
mock
good.
ups. They'll be showing.
You ever met those guys?
I met one of their brothers this past weekend at Heroes, but I haven't met them personally. But I mean, they live across the ocean, so looking forward to meeting them.
There you go.
Looking forward to meeting them.
Checkpoint Alpha asks, are those 5-inch size? No, these tick figures are actually, or 6-inch size. They're more like a 5. They're closer to.
They're around like at the scale of the old Superpowers figures.
Right. Yeah. They would fit right in with Superpowers from back in the day. So, again, I'm not even sure what particular part of the instance she's talking about. So I just know I got a dull box knife and reckless abandon.
And it's even duller from the Iron Man figures I opened up last night.
And if it hurts when you do it that way, check out kygijoeshow.com.
Right. I put a little on there, just slide right along. Just
slide right through that. Cut right through that tape.
So let's roll from there. I don't know how you roll on from there, to be honest.
Segue, try it.
I got nothing at this point. There was
some interesting comments in the comment thread about the Vegas investor guy.
I mean, sure.
So basically, I mean, it's debatable whether or not this guy could have actually moved the market, but people were noticing an uptick in Snow Serpent prices beyond what like Eels and the other troop builders of the day were doing. It's fascinating. Go to Yojo and search for it. It's a great thread.
I mean, it does stand to reason because that, in particular, that parachute pack is not a real common accessory to find in one piece anymore.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of them out there have dried out or stretched out and stuff. So I get it with Snow Serpents. Like there's a logic to it, regardless of this Vegas guy, one way or the other. So I don't know. I'd have to read into it more. I don't want to give it too much discussion because I have no idea where I'm coming from on it. I'd be shooting entirely from the hip.
Yep.
Kind of weird that the last big deployment of Snow Serpents went to Las Vegas.
Right.
Right.
They're prepping. They're prepping for the A's.
Yeah, they're smelling. I guarantee it.
Let's roll into shout outs. Carson, you're our guest. Who are we shouting out to tonight?
Oh, I'm gonna shout out you guys for having me back on. It's been a while. Thank you. It's good to see you guys.
Look, hey, we were available for real.
I'm gonna shout out Skybound because that was really cool of them to reach out, and I shared their stuff yesterday. They shared mine today, and that was really, really nice of them. I've been back in their project from day one, so that was really cool of them, man. Fingers crossed. Still haven't got a shout out from Hasbro yet. My fingers crossed. Come on, guys, give me a shout out, man. What you doing over there?
You want some help? I know a guy there.
Call somebody, Mark. Call somebody.
I know like 3.
Yeah.
I got like 3 guys.
There's 3 left.
I'm gonna shout out my buddy Joe because we're giving a panel on Saturday at 2:00 for Operation Recall, and he's been the story guy. I've just been out kind of pitching his story and maybe adding some ideas to it here and there. But thank you to Joe for all the work he's been doing on that. Chris Scott, Matthew LaCroix for the beautiful paint masters that you gave me to show off this weekend. Everybody that's still working on it. Mike Good still doing some sculpting on it. Doug Hart's working hard on paintings. Shout out to Doug. Thank you, buddy. Keep going. You're doing great. Don't get tired. What else? Yeah.
Right?
Hard ball driver. There I go.
That's
Shout out to Ron Rudat. He banged out some logos for me in the last 2 weeks. That was exciting, man.
All right.
So look, we've got the good guy unit. We've had the good guy unit for a long time, but we got actual logo and identity work done, and we got the bad guy unit logo and identity work done. So I'm excited to show that on Saturday. But I did have to hardball drive on Ron a little bit to get that done. And we went through 3 rounds of, logo design, and I just can't tell you what an honor it is to work with the guy that designed the Cobra logo, the Sky Striker logo, the Night Raven logo, like so many classic logos. To see him working from like loose sketches to like polished pencils, and then to be the digital artist that's like converting it to vector and stuff. Like I'm a pig in shit over here, honestly. Like
we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in. If you can curse all you want now.
Thank you.
Nobody at YouTube is still paying attention. The algorithm has gone to bed.
It's basic cable after 11. We're good.
I appreciate it. So it's just been so much fun working with every one of those people. I feel like they're all so super talented, and like, what are they doing working with me? You know what I mean?
We ask ourselves that every time too. What is it with Carson?
Right,
anyway.
That guy,
Yeah.
what, the 3D Joe's guy. So anyway, I'm just hoping I can keep it going, man. But thank you to all of them for working with me, and I swear I feel like they're doing their best work, and I'm just honored to like be able to present it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for having me. Still loving me.
I just remember back the first time we met Carson face to face was at a JoeCon, and we were doing a panel. And Carson took a lap around the studio audience. We called him up. We had a couple of guests that we pulled everybody out of the audience, and Carson did a lap around the studio audience, Price is Right style, and nobody sold it. Like the place was silent. Like, what the hell is going on here? And so it's very entertaining to me to see, to think of that time, and then to see what Carson has built his empire into since then. Because I feel a sense almost fatherly pride. Almost like I'm not that much older than him, so I can't. It's not really but it's kind of maybe big brotherly kind of pride. But
there you go. You go.
I remember looking at Godso, and Godso's looking back at me like, "What's going on here?" And I just said, "Kid's got spunk."
Yep.
The kid's got fire in his belly.
Kid's got spunk.
Yeah, it's been a slow build, man. It's been a snowball effect. You had to start small. You had to start somewhere, Mike.
Right. You and that we were your start on that panel in JoeCon. Well, let's get the crazy guy with the spinning action figures on the screen.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's been bothering us to get on.
2012, there was some skepticism that there even needed to be another archive, or like, who is this guy? Because Joe had been around for, at that point, 12, 15 years, right?
Right. There were a lot of folks out there that totally misread your motives.
Yeah.
And were really upset that you had dared start this site in the
how dare he do something different than what we've already done. And I was like, I'm just a graphic designer that wants to make it really pretty. Like I just wanted to have control over the assets and make it pretty, and not put any ads on it. That was my big thing. Like, I wanted to be ad free and mobile friendly. So anyway, there was definitely early on
it was a little weird.
Yeah, I had to win people over with my consistent work ethic. I think that's what it is, man.
So I'm glad we're able to help with that a little bit. It's like, well, if he's dealing with these crackpots, he can't be that serious. So
you lent me your credibility, and I'll never forget it.
Or we destroyed it in the necessary ways.
Okay. Seems legit.
Moving on. Ragtime Rob, shout it out.
All right. Well, shout out to Carson.
Oh.
Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks, Rob.
A belated shout out to all the dads out there.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Father's Day, all. Shout out, sadly, to Willie Mays, who passed tonight.
Yeah.
Oh. What? Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was seeing an awful lot of Willie Mays stuff while we were at the restaurant on the TV, and it's like, but then I was thinking, oh, well, I know he's doing the thing for the game at the ballpark there, but and of course, shout out to the studio audience. Thank you for tuning in later and later each week.
But this is actually going to be the shortest of the last couple weeks because
we have done
a lot of JoeFest build.
Me too.
Mark Weber.
Oh man!
Let's
give a shout out to my kids, and this is mainly for you, Rob, who gave me the To the Dadmobile card yesterday. Oh yeah,
there you go.
Adam West, pretty cool. On a more serious note, a couple months ago, I called a really good friend of mine who's a couple years older than me. We hadn't talked in a couple of years. We caught up, and it was great. And then just recently, he actually broke his hip.
Oh,
and he's gonna be fine because he's made of iron pretty much. But if I hadn't called him 3 months ago, I would have called him right now, but it would have been spurred on by the hip injury, right? So if you have an old friend you haven't talked to in a while, pick up the phone, give him a call. I was really happy that I had talked to my buddy Bob before he got hurt. So it wasn't just like, oh, you got hurt, let me reconnect, right? So if you got old friends you haven't actually spoken to in a while, yeah, pick up the phone or send a text. Along those same lines, a friend of mine from the radio industry I work with, Joe Nacita, passed away last week. And he was a young-ish father, if I'm a young-ish father, hard worker, Yankee fan, and just an all-around good guy. So to Joey Nacita, we hope you're resting in peace, and that's what I got. Follow that, Mike.
All right. There's no following that one. Just hang it up.
I will reiterate Rob's shout outs, one to our studio audience, of course. If you're catching us live, we appreciate you sticking with us all this time. We were doing it was a little bit higher about an hour ago, so you guys get to hate on the haters who bailed out early. You guys are the winners. Todd Bertrude, welcome to the show. Thank you for all you do, Carson. Stoked you put the photo of young me with my Joe cake in the back of your book.
I love showing those photos to people, man. Like I was just doing Heroes Con this weekend. I love starting the book with "This is why it matters," because we all had this shared experience. That was just one of those, like, just when you, I don't want to claim the idea. I don't remember whose idea it was. I just remember Chad and I were seeing those photos online. We were like, we got to do something with these. Originally, Chad was going to do a video, and I was like, no, we should make it the bookends and open and close the book with it. But it's like, why else would any of us be doing what we're doing right now? Sitting on a podcast talking about G.I. Joe 40 years later, because those moments mattered so much. So cool, man. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it.
Shout out to Diana Davis's mom, who had her 5th cardiac procedure today, walked out on her own 2 feet, and now has superpowers.
Awesome.
So excellent. We expect to see her flying by anytime. But give it a little time. We're all the way in Indiana on the eastern half of the country, so that might take some. Slow it down. Let her build up
and even above the 405 is jammed.
That's right. We almost missed this week.
It's jammed in 3 dimensions.
That's a good catch.
But Phil is still even in the live chat, and he did not chime in on that one. But again, if you're catching us on the Facebook tonight, be sure to give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a little huggy guy. If you're catching us on the YouTubes, do all the cool YouTube stuff that's down in somewhere in the middle these days. Give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and share us in all of your various internet circles. It means a lot more coming from you guys than it does coming from me. Those sites, they know that I own the What's on Joe Mind, or I control the What's on Joe Mind social media. So if I'm sharing in those places, it doesn't mean a whole lot. If you're sharing in those places, it means an awful lot. So again, our growth is, as always, is completely contingent on you guys, because all of our followers are behind paywalls, and I can't reach them without completely evaporating our budget. At which point we would not be going to JoeFest this year. So I mean, let's throw it all together in a big mixer. This is grassroots stuff, so get rooting. But be sure of especially that thumbs up button. You're getting a little lax on the thumbs up button.
Come on,
don't do that button, to me, man. Come on now. That's all I ask you to do is click stuff. Come on now. But want to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors at Kokomo Toys. Real quick, we will sing the theme song. Kokomo
Kokomo
Toys. Kokomo Toys.
Ooh, that reminded me of that barbershop quartet I was in Skokie, Illinois.
Right?
Yeah.
Skokie.
I have stories about Skokie, but that's gonna
I
have
bet
to
you
wait for
do.
another night.
Those are still redacted, I believe.
I haven't had a whole lot of contact with the subject of those stories in a number of years, so I'm probably safe to share them. But we're just out of time. Where's my rundown? I have too many papers.
Yeah, it's under the beachheads.
No, they're on the desk. Anyways, they're on this desk. They're not on that. Anyways, moving on. Of course, we would be remiss if we did not mention our wonderful friends over at the Bandcamp podcast. We are thrilled to feature them as always. It's a really funny podcast for anyone who hates censorship, and you should. It's called Bandcamp, and the hilarious duo of Dan and Jennifer host it. Bandcamp is a comedy podcast where they read banned books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place. This season, they have moved on past Mark Twain, past A Wrinkle in Time. They are now on to, I lost the title. There we go. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. So that is a book I've never even heard of. This would be a good time for me to go back and get caught up. But what can I tell you? They are reading it one chapter at a time out loud. If you think banning books will lead to a not-so-great future, and it will, then Bandcamp is for you. Whether you're like Jennifer, curious to read the book for the first time, or like Dan, and you like your reading without all that reading, you'll love Bandcamp. Look for Bandcamp. That's band with 2 N's on your favorite podcast player and subscribe today. Let's all get band together. Oh, that's awesome. I was off window for a second.
No.
Bandcamp. The top of my head looks like a second set of Dan's eyes. So it's
looks like Cobra Commander.
Right, with the headphones. This is great.
You got to come a little closer so the width of your head is the same as his. There you go. There you go. Little to your right. Little to your right. To your other right. There you go. Yeah. Get closer.
Once a man there.
Good enough. I'm out of room at that point. I'm already like sticking my rib cage into my desk table here. So I can only go so far. I can't subscribe to the bit like Mark can over there. That's what I count on him for.
That's what I'm here for.
And Mark Weber's Mark Weber's presence on the podcast sponsored by Depends.
That's right. Will I be back next week? It depends.
That segment is normally called Mark Weber's Get Off My Lawn, but we just figured I needed to throw it out there. We didn't really have a get off my lawn moment this time, so
no, I wasn't really mad about anything this week.
No, not so much. Just Target, but that's par for the course.
Target.
Damn you, Target.
Now, to be fair, that was peak COVID time, and it was like the rage of classified collecting. I remember lining up at Target stores when they were getting ready to open and hunting, Viper Island stuff. So
yeah, that was a tough one. I remember I picked up that Viper first thing in the morning on New Year's Day, and there was one of them left on the peg. I just grabbed it, walked towards the register. There was ice on the ground, so there was really nobody out. Like it was. If I didn't live 5 minutes from the Target, I wouldn't have been out either.
Right.
And I just remember I saw there was one guy working the aisle, and he gives me the whole can I help you spiel. I was like, no, I've got what I need. I think we're both here a little too early today. And we laughed the rest of the way up to the front because we were just both that tired and that disbelieving of what was going on in our lives. So
Carson, you got a lot of pre-orders for the Operation Recall figures, right?
Yeah. So the top figure last time I looked, I want to say was a little under 2,000.
Ooh, big time. Hey, have you emailed the people who have pre-orders to ask them if they still want them?
No, it's not optional.
Oh, it's so weird because Target seems to believe that that's good business practice somehow. And if they don't respond, you just cancel their pre-orders.
Have they charged your payment at that point?
No, I'm sure they oversold and they had to get rid of some people who had pre-ordered from them.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's just weird. This is I'm not going to pretend to understand any of this big business pre-order business these days.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a pre-order should just be open for a set period of time, and you can order as many as you want, and then you produce it to meet that demand. It doesn't seem like that's that revolutionary of a concept.
And
I can't fathom why they're doing these pre-orders that disappear. Like,
I
can
know,
you, from
and
a
it
business
seems
perspective, explain? Like,
it's
it
the
seems
whole
like
deal.
the
That's
pre-orders are getting harder to nail down recently too. It's
the basis of the frustration is that it makes no sense on any level. It's a pre-order.
Is it just FOMO marketing? Are they doing it on purpose, just FOMO? Because, like, you remember when Nintendo came out with the Wii and you couldn't get a Wii for months, and everybody stood in line and got the 20 Wiis per week that store was shipped, and you know that Nintendo did that shit on purpose. And when they rolled out their next system, the Switch, they did the same damn thing. So that I would call that like manufactured. What do you call it? Scarcity. Manufactured scarcity. Let's call it that. So is that what they're doing? Is that intentionally what they're doing?
I think they don't know what the hell they're doing.
It just makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. Like, you're in business to make toys. Leave the pre-order up, take as many orders as you can, and then manufacture to meet the need.
And if you want to make more, that's fine, but that's on you. But certainly don't make less than you got pre-ordered.
Then you have demand for. Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Do not. Have you seen what Target has done in their toy aisles?
I go on Target now and then. Yeah,
I believe they've kind of just stopped stocking them. But
because I haven't, not for 5 years.
Yeah, Rob, it's fair. It's a fair point. I take my daughter there quite a bit because, I mean, honestly, that's like one of the only. I don't like to go to Walmart. Let's be honest. And Target's toy aisles are pretty darn bare. Although my daughter is really into Paw Patrol, and Paw Patrol is pretty well stocked. So somebody at whoever makes Paw Patrol, they seem to know what they're doing.
You're big. Like Sky. She probably likes Sky.
She likes them all, Mark. She's a collector like her father.
Does she have 2 of each?
No, not yet. She doesn't know the value of packaging, but to be fair, I didn't know that until as an adult either. I ripped everything open as a kid. So.
But anyways, this is a big week. We'll get back to shout outs.
Oh yeah.
This is a big week for travel for Joe fans. So wherever you go and whatever you're doing, remember to be kind to the people that you come across, whether that's folks at the convention, folks at the hotel, folks on the road. Not just be nice, be kind. Do a solid here and there. Be good to one another. We are all we have, after all. And we are all gathering up this weekend to talk about the stuff that we love as adults, which is crazy. In that I wouldn't have thought that as an almost 50-year-old man I'd be doing this at almost 50 years old. So that's it for this week. Next week I'm going to say don't expect a 2-hour marathon. If we get something up at all, consider that a win, because we will just be getting back from Augusta, Georgia on Monday. So no promises. We'll play it by ear. If I get something up, I get something up. If not, deal. But that's what we got. Thanks to Carson Metaxas from 3D Joe's and Operation Recall.
Thank you guys. It's good to come home.
Buy his book.
Buy the book. Buy the book, damn it.
God, he's gonna fall over again. He's gonna fall over again. Jake Rose says almost 50. I'm actually freshly 49. Thank you very much. So
nice.
You
Still
put
got
that
a whole year to go.
You put that almost 50 away. Thank you very much. Look at this hair.
One more set of leaves.
Right?
Why you got to rub that in, man?
I could pass for 46 easy.
The Irizaries, man. The hairlines are on point.
There's some hair. There's some hair in this family. And mind you, that's really only one branch out of 4 in the family tree is supplying that.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you, Italian branch.
Right. It's a lot of hair down your back. No,
not really.
No?
I'll show you.
Oh, stop.
No, it's too sexy.
No, put it away. Put it away.
It's too sexy.
It's too sexy. All right, y'all.
Oh, my God. It's time to go.
Come see these dudes in Augusta.
And smell their crotch.
Come smell my resin crotches.
For our guest host, Carson Metaxas, for Ragtime Rob, for the Honcho Mark Weber, I'm Mike Irizarry. Join us next time for another very special crotch sniffing episode of What's on Joe Mind. Have a great rest of the week. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't be careful, yo, Joe.
Beer.